Ahoy, land lovers! It's me, your Captain Vasco speaking, and welcome to another Sammun-Mak stream. We're getting close to the end of the year and close to the end of the series, and it was sometime in the last few days that I was sort of made aware of what the Game of the Year nominations were, and then it sort of occurred to me why I have felt like there hasn't been a lot for me to draw from personally. I feel like I've been delving back into the Wayback Machine for stuff to be streaming, and it's like, oh yeah, it's not that nothing has come out, but like I'm not excited about like any of the stuff that's come out, especially not the stuff that people like are excited about. So for me, it's like, oh well, I guess I'll go back and play all of Sam&Max, which does include Telltale Season 3, which is the latest full installment of Sam&Max video game. Oh yeah, there's controversy over the Elden Ring DLC. Personally, like I am like I've seen some people have some really hot takes. I don't love that. Like I don't mind there being like a extended content category or something, but like I don't know, to call it like DLC and to require the previous game to play it, like I feel like that's disqualifying. Hey, Ditto, welcome back from AWOL. I hope you're doing well. Uh, yeah, like DLC category and then like Elden Ring sweeps, no problem with that. But like it's not exactly a new game, right? Like I kind of get it, and like especially in this year where like at least for me personally, I look at those like Game of the Year nominations. I'm like, I mean, I assume Balatro wins, and I don't necessarily like love that, but like I feel like it deserves it by comparison to what I know about the other games. That's fine. Oscars need to do things too, like title sequences, stunts. Yeah, honestly, yeah. I mean, I know like some things kind of along those lines happen in like I forget the proper name for them, but there are like technical Oscars that happen like off-site, like leading up to the Oscars, and like they, because they're not televised, they don't get the same level of recognition, but like there is recognition from like the colleagues in the industry or whatever. It has enough content to be a whole game, does not make it a whole game. Yeah, I mean, I'll grant you it's the type of thing that is kind of hard to draw exactly where the line is, but like if you're calling it DLC, and like for me a big part of it is like if you cannot simply buy it and play it as its own entity without any other like software purchase or requirements, is not a standalone game. Um, it's so funny. Like I went live and like six people joined like all of a sudden. Hello, Ditto, of course, anime demolition. Neko, who's making a pizza. I'm jealous, even though I've recently had pizza. I just always want pizza. I was watching like a streamer who's like content I watch like play some new like pizza making video game that came out, and then I was like, you know what? I could go for a pizza, which is stupid, both because I should not be influenced by that, and secondly because I could always eat a pizza, even if I just ate a pizza. It's like a problem. Might be. I gotta be honest. I know like nothing about Black Myth Wukong. I feel like I saw a little bit about it. I feel like there was controversy about its relief that may or may not have been based on cultural sensitivity. I genuinely don't know. It felt to me like it came out of nowhere, but like nothing that I knew about it was that interesting. And like to be honest, part of why I haven't learned more is like it just like launched with controversy. It's like I don't need that. Like I'm fine taking on the psychic load of controversy about something I'm already invested in. I don't need to like learn a new controversy for its own sake. That's fine. And again, AAA equals controversy. Yeah, yeah. I'm not a huge fan of AAA in general these days. It's not like I am like ethically hard stanced against it. It's just like it's been a long time since like any majority of AAA games were something I was interested in. Like certainly some come out that I think are interesting to me. Category you're looking at is best mobile games. It's one of your favorite companies as a contender. I have no idea what's on that list. Missed Lorelai's in one or two. It's good but not award worthy. I mean, all I know is like everything I've heard about Lorelai and the laser eyes was like a ton of hype. I don't know how true it is because I haven't played it, but like it felt like everyone it doesn't surprise me just based on the way people were talking about it, but like I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know much about it. Controversy about Wukong is super contrived since it doesn't meet what most Western games consider good content. Yeah. One thing I was going to mention, normally, for whatever spiteful cosmic reason, like within like 20 minutes of me going live, I get some kind of bad news. Like, especially these last couple months, it's like just like sitting here doing nothing and like something figuratively explodes. Just before I went live, I saw like a really exciting announcement for me. I don't know that anyone else in chat, well, my mom will probably also appreciate this. Denzel Washington's Equalizer movie franchise. He just like had some interview where he like quietly announced that they just did like a third one like last year, and admittedly the third one's sort of okay. It's definitely not as good as the first two, but you know, sequels and all that. But like it really was framed like that was like the end of it, and then like someone was just like interviewing him like about making those movies. It's like, oh yeah, we're doing 4 and 5, we're doing them now. Someone was like, do you want to do another one? And he was like, yeah, and now we're doing 2 more. And I'm like, all right, you got my attention and my ticket price. If you've never seen Equalize, I think the first 2 are great. The first one's better than the second, but I still really appreciate what the second is doing. My favorite thing is basically like he's just like an ex-CIA superhero. Like in some ways it sounds like really stock standard, but like the thing that I think is really cool about Equalizer as a character is he always gives every villain a chance to make the right decision. And when they make the wrong decision, he messes them up so badly. They're just doomed. You can't make the wrong decision around that man, or you will be so messed up. I don't know. It's like exactly the sort of thing I'm into. It's like the same. It's a very similar character archetype that like Luffy, the main character from One Piece, has, where it's like he is like this incredibly like community-minded, friendly, like outgoing guy who like wants nothing but peace and to just like help people live their best lives. And then like the second you cross the line ethically, you're done, man. I tried Tactical Breach Wizards, been enjoying it a lot. I haven't. I've seen Northern Lion play a bit of it. I feel like I could get into a game like that. There's something about that game that felt like a little too involved. I don't know. It felt like the complexity escalated a little more quickly than I would want, I think. But I haven't really played it myself, so I don't know for sure, I guess. Yeah, these days, Friday always runs extra long because I'm mad, and then I talk for a really long time, and then I don't have as much to say on Saturday, which is kind of good, but I recognize how stupid that all is. So let's reserve some of that talking time for Sammun-Mak's The Devil's Playhouse. And I have to say, in hindsight, I was like, why do I always think that the season is called The Devil's Toy Box? And the reason for that is, prominently featured is an object called The Devil's Toy Box. But then for some reason we call the season The Devil's Playhouse. I think maybe the last chapter touches on that, but it still feels like we named it wrong. Even after replaying it, I'm like, I don't know, the thing in my head feels like it makes more sense. The Devil's Toy Box is like clearly a central object in the story, but I sort of get ahead of myself. Here's your $5 recap of the season thus far. Let me get my fully charged controller that'll last 20 minutes out of the cradle. So, last Friday we played the Penal Zone. General Skunkape, a brand new character to the series, shows up in a gorilla face-shaped spaceship. introduces the concept of toys that evoke psychic powers, and that he's come to Earth to collect them and also blow us up. Sammun-Mak thwart him eventually by creating a new penal zone after accidentally being partially responsible for destroying the one he escaped from. And then in that process, they uncover the Devil's Toy Box in the basement of their own office building. In order to learn more about what that means, they watch a very conveniently placed film reel next to the Devil's Toy Box, which is the story that we experience in episode 2, The Tomb of Sammun-Mak. It follows the adventures of their ancestors like Maximus and Samus, I think. And like basically it's just like it's not exactly Indiana Jones, but it's sort of like that era of like, all right, we're going to demonstrate our tomb robbing abilities in sort of an adventure game way a little bit. But really all that we cover in this story is like, we introduce the character of Monsieur Paperweight, a like caricature of like a H.P. Lovecraft villain. He's like an educated guy with like a mildly interesting accent who is trying to like plunder ancient artifacts and do bad Cthulhu stuff for its own purpose. As we discussed yesterday, that's kind of how that always seems to go. There's never a good reason. You're just like, you know what? How about I Cthulhu? Or in this case, Yog-Sothoth. Then last night, they stole Max's brain. As we reach the conclusion of that film reel, Sam goes to take a bathroom break and tells Max to wait for him before starting the end of that story. He doesn't, so we play out the boss fight as depicted in the film reel. And when we complete that, we see Sam return from the restroom and Max's head is popped open and brainless. And so Sam goes on a weird, angry, noir rampage trying to locate Max's brain, finds the museum of like mostly accurate history or something like that, and finds that the forces from the previous 2 chapters are battling each other in a planetarium with Max's brain stored in a jar for safekeeping between them, and they're vying for more psychic toys. It's just all about psychic toys. In order to help cause a rift between those parties when they join forces against Sam, he enlists the help of a former pharaoh, Sammun-Mak, and puts his brain in Max's body. But the pharaoh also has the psychic gift that allows you to tap into the psychic toys, and basically, right when it seems like we've fixed everything, he pulls a fast one on us and rewrites reality such that he is the pharaoh of all things for all time. Then we had to go about collecting little trinkets of favor so that we could get close to him and pry his head open once again and put Max's brain where it belongs. That leads us to the present. At the end of that last episode, Sam and Max were suddenly set upon by an army of what appear to be zombie-esque Sam clones, all wearing like gold lame shorts. And we're told by the narrator, inexplicably introduced to the season, that we will encounter what is beyond the Alley of the Dolls this time. Now, one thing I wanted to touch on, because I reflected on this today, is one of the reasons why I think I dislike episode 2 so much. Like, I think episode 1 is quite weak, but episode 2 really sticks in my craw, pardon my language. And I think part of that is, I think legitimately, if you take this entire episode out of this season, it changes nothing. This episode contributes so little narratively that I genuinely think that, like, the few characters that are introduced in this could be hand-waved in just as easily as the weird German tourists that got added last time. Like, it's not like we got a ton of backstory on them or learned critical things about their motivation that, like, aren't apparent by just, like, their behavior. Like, literally nothing that happens in this episode is important. And then you stack on top of that the weird non-linear structure that I think they did super poorly. It's tipping the scales. I think I may have convinced myself that this is the worst Telltale Sammun-Maks, and not Moai Better Blues, which is also quite bad. However, tonight we play neither of those. We play Beyond the Alley of the Dolls. Join me, won't you? Ooh, Nego's Pizza's a 4-cheese pizza. That's nice. There's like a heavy cheese blend that Papa John's does that sometimes I'm excited about. Last time I ordered from there, I got that. TTG.
Ooh, I can't believe you fired Sal.
Of course I did, you conniving banshee. I can't
Everyone likes Sal more than both of you.
10-stone cockroach.
We're closed.
You better tell them that.
This is fine. I'm sure this is fine. Oh my god, they just like juggernauted that car over.
Horrible truths lurk behind the
At least there's underwear. That's fair.
Neighbors' souls. Our
Crap, you just made me say
intrepid
underwear.
heroes certainly don't. They're just relieved to find a safe harbor from the half-naked horde that has pursued them since their stirring defeat of the mad pharaoh Sammun-Mak. But soon, you and the freelance police will be forced to throw
That's way too much in this guy's head.
and clumsily draw back the moldy curtains to reveal the awful secrets that lie beyond the Alley of the Dolls.
I do get the impression that we spent a lot of creative energy, like reverse engineering, like titles that evoke famous B movies into like Sammun-Mak's chapters, but I don't think that like I don't think the top-down design does the genre any favors. Don't even like see just one of his head. Agreed. I think we've reached a social agreement, Chat and I, that the narrator is not a good inclusion. I think they explain his presence to some degree toward the end of the series, but I don't remember it being satisfying. It's certainly no them. Them who is one of like the greatest villains of all time. I mean, just like, I have played this before, but it's been many, many years. Just going on what we've re-experienced playing through this again, like these past couple weeks, I would guess that he's like Dr. Norrington or something. Even though we technically heard Dr. Norrington speak, and I think he sounded different.
We were suddenly beset by scads of brain-dead Sammun-Mak.
I prefer doggledangers.
We thought all they wanted was that spooky toy box, but after they yanked it away, they turned their attention on us.
Actually, I think they were mostly interested in me.
No.
We ran for the DeSoto, but it had been surrounded by a gang of me's.
So naturally you came here.
Better to stock up on canned foods and ammo for the upcoming zombie Sam Armageddon.
I don't think they're zombies, Max.
Zombies, clones, robots, who cares?
They
Just as
act
long
very
as I get the
zombie-esque.
shirts.
I don't know that they're literally zombies, but I can see why you'd confuse them for them. I feel like conceptually this works better if they're cat clones, because that's kind of how cats interact with stuff. Uh-oh, time to boil the haggis. I have to turn the music down again. I don't know. It's really loud in the
You
cutscenes.
got a way out of here, Sam.
What do you think? We want to try turning the music down again? What do I have it at currently? Game settings. Yeah, I'll put it back where I had it. That's fine. Gape at menacing arms.
Do my arms really jiggle like that?
You don't
Your
want
arms
that.
have a charming water balloon look. These guys are strictly turkey waddle territory.
One thing, I really thought that Sybil and Lincoln returned, even if they like weren't as important as they were in the earlier seasons. It's feeling at this point like they never come back. It's something about that feels extremely weird to me. But like also, I mean, Bosco was like integral to the earlier seasons, and he's gone completely too. There was like some big reference to him, and you know there was like Pudding Lincoln in like episode 1, and then like we just replaced them with like mostly inferior characters. Like it's just so weird to me. Like there must be an explanation for that I just never knew about something going on behind the scenes. But like,
Let's see if we can
it's a
cheer
bummer,
up this
man.
terrifying attack with a random selection from Stinky's hot wax dispenser.
That sounds unpleasant.
You are aware that there's no actual records, CDs, or wax cylinders in there, right?
So I guess I'm not solving a puzzle that way then, huh? Under a pile of peanut butter balls. I mean, I wouldn't name them that.
Individually wrapped balls of peanut butter?
Aye. Ever since Mrs. Dolagi went up like a pufferfish, my namby-pamby malpractice attorneys have forced me to dole out my peanut butter in strictly controlled portions.
I didn't even know diners could have malpractice attorneys.
Maybe something happened with his voice actor. That's my assumption too, anime. Like, I'm not 100% sure, because I haven't, like, looked it up. But I think they used a different voice actor for Bosco for the remake. Which also made me think something happened. I don't know if he got canceled or, like, something else happened. But, like, I think his voice used to be different. The new voice actor is, like, trying to evoke the same thing, but it sounds different than I remember it.
I've learned from bitter experience.
It's possible I'm
never
wrong.
Drink anything that comes from
It's been a
sewage taps, especially the bitters.
Ooh, grab a treat from the
Hey,
freezer.
Skunk Ape, any chance of you moving out of the way so I can open that freezer?
No.
God, what a negative Nelly!
Hey, Donkey Wrong, want to pitch in and help us repel the hordes?
Donkey wrong.
What happened to General Skunkape?
Sam happened!
According to Max, I beat the bananas out of him in an alternate reality, which has left him a humiliated husk of a man, or ape.
Don't hurt me.
Of course, being chased by hundreds of half-dressed versions of the new alpha male in town can't be helping either.
You know, that's a fair point, actually. Nick goes, what are you talking about, Vasco? Bosco never existed. Oh, yeah. And Max was always a brain in a jar. I forgot.
Look, it's the button that opens the secret tunnel into the sewers.
Less talky, more pressy, Sam! I've just about run out of amusing ways to shoot you in the face!
Open hickory.
Gotta move some barrels and boxes. You know who's good at that? Donkey Kong. Is that why we made a reference?
Hey, Stinkies! What happened to your secret tunnel?
Secret tunnel?
Secret
I
tunnel.
have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
Hey, good idea! Maybe we could turn this horrific siege into some sort of half-assed, rhythm-based minigame.
No, I don't really want that.
Half-naked, portly dog-like creatures are running amok.
Portly.
Details at this time remain sketchy, but we have numerous reports that the Zoftig canines are breaking into people's houses and stealing their children's toys. Well, that'll put some kids in therapy, right, Chet?
No!
Whoa, ease off, big fella. I'm pretty upset about the Zaftig crack too, but that's no reason to go ape.
Smooth, Sam.
Infernal city stripped me of my power and my dignity, but I'll be a Polarian baboots before I let them have the last of my toys!
Hey, the monkey's gonna do a card trick!
I don't think so, Max. Those look like the mind-reading cards we saw in that chilling vision of the future that never happened.
Oh, yeah! Gimme!
Give them to you? Hardly. With these cards, I will escape this gorilla for
My grandpa's mind-reading deck has no pathetic cards, Kaiba.
To conquer the rest of the entire galaxy.
Toys.
No!
Sucks to be that guy. Hey, cards! I like those.
That was horrible. Maybe we should have done something.
Ah, he'll be okay. Now let's start reading some minds so we can get out of this mess.
Well, reading minds would be a good way for us to figure out what's going on with the secret passage that I think Girl Stinky was hiding from Grandpa Stinky, so that's why we're not talking about it. Ditto suggests that this secret passage may be similar to Andantino's. secret passage? I don't think I would publicly talk about something like that. It might negatively affect the rebellion.
Freeze. The greatest combination of ice cream, fudge, and carob balls this side of the Mississippi.
Aren't these called
Must
fudge sticks in the last episode?
fudge.
Why did we change the name?
Sam?
Sorry, Max. You know how I get whenever I get a fudgy freeze in my hand.
Well, it feels like that's part of the solution. Ooh, make toast.
This probably isn't the best time to make some toast. But what the hey? Yikes! Guess I won't be making any toast for a while.
I remember when I was a toaster.
So true. That was yesterday, if you weren't here for that. Alright, don't know what to do about that. Just become Max? Okay, so we have multiple toys. We're actually accumulating them now instead of randomly getting and losing them in a fashion that's mildly annoying.
When this is over, my so-called granddaughter and I are going to have a wee talk.
I don't really want to talk about we with my family, to be honest.
When Wilfred and Brimley aren't looking, I'll escape through my backup tunnel.
Backup tunnel? Ingenious.
Really? I was gonna go with paranoid or maybe silly.
Yeah, both.
Can you read my mind? Do you know all the things I'm thinking of?
Do you know my recipe for ice cream soup? So I imagine that was a cue that'll let us have meaningful dialogue with Girl
You heard
Stinky.
me. Mr. S is...
Sometimes I wish your future visions were a little more expansive, Max.
Touch base with Sam's future. That's weird. His ears are doing something weird.
Ooh, I've got to go try this puppy out on some doggies.
Guess we could phone teleport somewhere, but I don't think we're doing that.
Oh, good. It's the Harbinger of Doom.
Aw, thanks for noticing. I would like her opinion on lots of
What
me.
the deal is with all these dangerously handsome Sammun-Mak?
Doggledangers.
I'd guess clones.
Really?
Or maybe parallel universe commandos, or pastry golems, or maybe I don't really care since it's not really my job to figure this kind of thing out.
Pastry golems sound fun. Is it put ice cream in a bowl and wait? Don't tell them my secrets! Also, if you're really in a hurry, I guess you could use the microwave, but there's something deeply sad about that.
Okay, Stinky. Where's your backup secret tunnel?
What?
You heard me. The backup tunnel.
I don't know anything about a
Or
backup
baby.
tunnel.
Is that what we're calling it now? The look on her face.
Come on, Stinky. Tell us where your backup tunnel is before Max runs out of bullets.
I never run out of bullets.
I
I'm a
told you
cartoon.
I don't know anything about a tunnel.
Why do you keep looking over there?
Looking over where?
Where the button to the secret tunnel is.
Well, I can...
Hey, good luck with that.
Never nuked ice cream? I don't think so. Pretty sure I had fried ice cream once. Don't really remember exactly what it was like. I remember liking it.
Smoking and buzzing impotently, just like she left my heart.
She's lying. Remember her training. Snarl and put the gun to her head. It's true, we went to so much trouble to establish game mechanics that, like, were really ill-defined in the last chapter, and have abandoned them. I guess I could try... What phone numbers do I currently have? Only here. Yeah, this mechanic continues to be confusing, but that's fine. Is there some other thing I can future vision? I think it's just like us people. Nobody here but us chickens. I don't think there's anything I can turn into right now, right? Oh, hang on.
This'll keep me warm until we get our real car back.
Let me become a car for some reason.
The doggledangers may have stolen our wheels, but we'll make our escape in DeSoto 2 Diesel Boogaloo. Well, this is underwhelming.
Toy car, toy car, toy car. Max, they think you're a toy. Change back.
Guess we won't be driving out in that.
Unless we get a bunch of fezzes and join the Shriners.
Let's call for
Even
help.
if I did have any of the obscure currency used by Grandpa Stinky's phone, the lines are all jammed by panicked citizens. Even if I did... Grandpa Stinky?
Do you mind? You're spoiling my aim.
What happened to your secret tunnel?
Secret tunnel?
You know, the
Secret
one under
tunnel?
that table over there.
Shh.
If I had a secret tunnel, don't you think I would have used it by now?
Good point. We couldn't help but notice that girl Stinky started flinging plates at your head.
What did she think I was going to do when I discovered that she'd hired a giant cockroach to run my beautiful kitchen?
Well, your tolerance for cockroaches is well known, so I'm sure she probably thought,
Tiny cockroaches as customers, not 6.5-foot tall monstrosities lumbering
Hey, their
about my
wallpaper
kitchen,
is just
dipping
crabs.
their mandibles in the
I don't think I ever
mayonnaise
noticed that
and
before.
spreading their disease on my crudities.
Crudités? Where? And what are those?
Mark my words.
And what the-
Someone
what are
will
they?
think That woman's up to no good.
I'll just get back to find...
Take your time.
You know what? I've decided that Neko has the
Try
right
that
idea.
again, will you?
Let's find out about the
Stinky
tunnel of
probably
violence.
just stare down my bullets.
Forgot that I had this peanut butter. What do you think I would do with
I
that?
better not. They could be one of those whiny arachabuterophobes. Only a barbarian indiscriminately smears peanut butter all over things.
I disagree, but I am a known barbarian.
Yeah, it's got peanut butter dog mouth. I hate it when I do that.
I feel like this hand by the toaster is important, but I don't know why.
I don't think I'll be using that toaster until I get rid of some of those Sams.
Can I use the gun? I feel like there should be some dialogue there. I assume the point is that he doesn't want to shoot himself.
I don't know how Blah Blah and Buzz Buzz found out about my backup tunnel, but they'll never figure out that setting the toaster to incinerate will open it.
Those cards have peeled open Stinky's mind like a snarky, lazy onion.
I was expecting... I don't know. That's the sort of thing where it feels like we've locked a key in a drawer, where we just, like, delayed the inevitable, like, instead of having, like, a meaningful extension of the puzzle. Like, I thought, like, something
Come on, you
more
grabby
interesting would happen,
kids.
so I
Come
didn't
get
do
a
that.
whiff of what the stink is cooking.
I don't think I'll be using that toaster until I get rid of some of those Sams.
Couldn't you just give him a chew toy or something?
Very funny, Lint Brain.
I mean, I tried grabbing a treat from the freezer, and I became inoperable.
Must control fudge. Nom, 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 nom. I just can't resist those fudgy freezers.
Can
I
I...
think I've got enough peanut butter right now.
Do I have one? I like you. Oh, I have an. Wow. This is a type of puzzle I really dislike, and I can't believe this is in here. Where, like, never in the entire history of, like, let's see, like 14 previous episodes has something in our inventory had an additional button that said eat on it, and now it does. So, like, now I, like, can't do this.
Rat.
So now, if I give this to the
You
hand...
guys love these as much as I do.
That was not a particularly good puzzle in my opinion. That could be worse, but like there are a couple issues I have with that. The secret self-interact button and...
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I've had just about all
Hey, Jake, welcome to the stream.
You indolent waste of DNA.
She's
Say,
made of
you two
evil
wouldn't mind
cake.
holding the fort while we go check out Stinky Secret Passage, would you?
Indolent? Who do you think keeps this diner afloat, old man?
Great,
Unclear.
thanks.
Sam's animation is just gonna be doing that like the whole time, huh? Thank you, Devilish, for gifting a sub to Jakey. You're up to 987 gift subs.
I sure hope the
It's a
Stinkies are
satisfying
able to
number.
work out their issues.
Not me. Watching them argue is like dinner theater, only without the...
Sweet mother of Watson and Crick gallivanting with Rosalind Franklin on a spiral staircase.
Batcave. You ate all the pizza and you're sad it's gone? That's very relatable, and I'm sorry for your loss.
Max,
Yeah?
I think we found the source of the Sammun-Mak.
Dogglegangers.
Whatever.
Clone complete.
That had Bosco Tech on
What the heck is Girl Stinky doing down here?
it. That's unsettling. You need to learn to look to the right more. It's stupid. Did he think he was gonna kiss him? He didn't like...
Toys, toys, toys.
How did Sam get his hat back? He wasn't wearing it for like the entire
That's
last
strange.
episode. I don't see anything strange about this. Examine the
Let's look.
important cloning pod.
Bosco Tech Clone Pod. This clone pod was manufactured by Mama Bosco.
You probably should have guessed by the hot pants they're wearing. Mama sure does love a nicely turned Samgam.
If Mama Bosco's the one controlling these clones, she's got a lot of explaining to do.
Perhaps Lucille Ball can help.
Wow.
By my reckoning, this cavern is deeper than Sean Penn, but shallower than Bono.
That's such a weird and specific thing to say.
Property of Hoover Dam.
The ghost of J. Edgar Hoover is raising an unholy army of sexually provocative Sam clones!
Good theory. Wrong Hoover. Clone cooker DNA input receptacle.
Whoa!
Yikes!
Looks like our mysterious clone master doesn't want
Tentacles.
anyone messing with their cloning recipe.
How about some ranged spit? Ooh,
Nice
kitchenette.
kitchenette.
You gotta love a mastermind who keeps the coffee flowing.
Heat up lunch in microwave oven. I don't have a lunch.
These microwaves aren't working.
Some Nimrod probably blew the fuse when he tried to zap his leftover casserole and cup o' bisque in 2 different microwaves at the same time. We're in the middle of an energy crisis, people!
You now have approximately
Cloning facility status.
Huh. You'd think a multi-bazillion-dollar facility like this could afford something a little snazzier than a chintzy scrolly sign.
A box of stuff. Is it another Sam's inventory?
Fog machine. A rubber costume. Some
Is it
more
a
AV
zebra
equipment
costume?
like we found back in the subway?
Freaky. Anything useful?
Nope.
Explore patchouli-smelling tunnel. Must I?
Clone facility systems nominal. Awaiting further.
Look, Max. Free health, ammo, cupcakes, clues, and enlightenment. Oh, wait. It's empty. Check it out, Max. Cart tracks.
Maybe there's gold at the end of this tunnel. Or rare deposits of Kantgetium.
You're a strange little imp, Max.
When did the original Avatar come out? I assume that's an unobtainium joke. I know unobtainium as a stupid term predated Avatar, but I don't think it was in the public lexicon
Are we
until
there
then.
yet? We've been walking for nearly a
'Cause
decade.
it does smell
I
awful,
love
that's
your
true.
wacky made-up units of measurement, Max. Wait a minute. There's a light up ahead.
Bosco Tech?
Shh. Something weird is going on.
Weird.
Oh, this is that same tunnel that was visible in the earlier episode.
Mr. Molman, please concentrate.
The one they wouldn't let me
Without
go
your
in
assistance,
repeatedly.
We'll never be able to contact Dr. Mama Bosco.
No, we won't. You don't know what you're doing.
Quick, shoot them both. Shut up, Harry Molman.
Harry, you're alive.
Don't sound so disappointed.
Ah, don't be that way, Harry.
You cheated me out of millions of dollars and trapped me in a killer sauna. How should I be?
Sadder but wiser?
What do you know about these scary
But dashing.
toy-stealing Sams?
Nothing.
You sure you want to stick with that answer?
Yeah, isn't that your tunnel that connects directly to the big old cloning facility?
That old thing? I haven't been down there in months. After Mama Bosco started using it to store crate loads of high-tech equipment, it kind of lost its rustic charm.
Think he's telling the truth?
Probably. Harry doesn't have the brains, brawn, or all-around competence to pull off a scheme like this.
You know, I am standing right here.
Yeah, I obviously don't respect you. Why didn't Harry die? I mean, he didn't die even in, like, the future vision that didn't happen. For some reason, he just got dumped in, like, a little mold terrarium and was left to, like, sweat sadly. Which is, coincidentally, my natural state. Yeah, let's talk about Mama Bosco.
Mama Bosco.
I don't know. When I returned to the lab after my harrowing adventures on Skunkapi's ship, she was acting strange.
Strange?
Yes. She was
Doctor.
distracted and wafted about the facility with an agitated nervousness that one would normally associate with a guilty conscience.
You got all that from the way she was wafting?
Well, that, and she gasped, "Oh no, it's all my fault," before she floated out of the building. No one's seen her since.
Does that mean we're gonna get an explanation as to how Skunkapi was able to escape the prison dimension that she basically gave us the resources to make? Because, like, we really didn't get a satisfying explanation to that last time, like, at all.
What's with the seance?
Super Dense over there wants to summon Dr. Bosco back to the lab for questioning, but he doesn't know what he's doing.
How so?
It's so obvious that he can't make contact with the spirit realms. I mean, he can't even get in touch with my recently deceased relatives.
Well, if you know what to do, then why aren't you doing
Why
it?
don't you tell us about those recently departed relatives?
Sorry, Sam, the memory's too fresh.
Fair enough. So, you don't know where Mama Bosco is?
Not a clue. That's why we're trying to hold a seance, to compel her to return.
Hang in there, Harry.
Do I have a choice?
Grim but fair.
Super Ball.
That didn't give me very
Mr.
much
President,
information.
you're alive. I'm overjoyed.
I can tell.
I'll ask him about the Sams.
Do you know anything about these Sammun-Mak?
Dogglegangers.
According to the authorities, they're fanning out across the city in search of the remaining toys of power.
It's like a
Amazing.
gif of Sam's in
Yes,
the
sirs.
background.
In the aftermath of the Sammun-Mak incident, our crypto scientists estimate that there are only a few hundred TOPs extant, and they're scattered throughout the city.
The Sammun-Mak incident? Boy, we did not have uniform voice directing, huh? simulacra. I mean, the idea is simulacra of a character named Sam, so we portmantecked it into one word. But yeah, I like the idea of someone being named Samuel Acra. For some reason, the other day I had the thought that someone should be named Chris Anthem, and I have no idea how that would come to pass in a non-fictional way. You know, that is a valid point, Neko, considering that the appearance of Skunkape in the first place was because he had escaped the penal zone. Because we never learned what went wrong there and didn't avoid the same mistake, putting him in another penal zone was more or less destined to fail, huh? I still kind of feel like you put more thought into that than the team who worked on these.
A seance? That's not exactly in your bailiwick now, is it?
Okay, I'm just gonna stand right over here until I can shake off the memory of you saying bailiwick.
You are sadly correct, sir. As a medium, I'm more of an extra small. But it's desperately important that we make contact with the missing Dr. Mama Bosco.
Why?
I would think it's obvious, sir. The Sam clones. Her hands are all over them.
Ew.
Figuratively, sir.
That's
better.
Slightly better. Jiki says, in 1 week and 1 day, you'll be on your way to the UK. That's exciting. I didn't know that was happening. Is that for something in particular, or just for the sake of experiencing culture in the UK?
What happened to Mama Bosco?
I'm not certain, sirs. I came here to investigate reports of illegal cloning activity, only to find Dr. Mama Bosco missing. I'm conducting a seance to bring her in for questioning.
I feel like we should just, like, find a seance book and cut them out as the middleman. It's a graduation celebration vacation. It's a lot of Asians. Graduate at the end of December. Oh, that's very exciting, Jakey. Congrats.
Are you going to take another shot at summoning Dr. Mama Bosco?
Actually, sirs, I was thinking of leaving it to someone who specializes in weirdness.
Larry King is here?
I think he was talking about us.
Oh.
Stay loose, Superball.
I always do, sirs.
Let's see what happens if we just start randomly doing a seance.
Oh, this is rich. You think that you have the spiritual chops to summon Mama Bosco?
Hey, Sam's got more spiritualism in his pinky than the love child of the Dalai Lama and Mother Teresa.
Actually, I don't think I have a pinky finger, Max.
I only got
begin,
4.
sirs.
Ghoulies and imps from a Black Sabbath song.
Give us a signal by banging that gong.
Superball.
Perhaps we should concentrate on the task at hand.
Okay, how about this? Coffin-bound specters with bleaching white bones.
Reach out and touch us by ringing our phones.
Waiting by the...
Leave? In the middle of a seance? No way, pal.
Oh,
Leave? In the...
Ghoulies and imps from a Black Sabbath song.
Give us a signal by banging that gong.
So somehow we make Superball cry.
Tough room.
I know it! It's a miracle!
Presumably we
Ghoulies
succeed
and
at this
imps from
task
a Black
eventually.
Sabbath song.
Give us a signal by banging that gong.
Stupid Superball can't even contact Uncle Morty, and he's only been dead for a week.
Okay.
I'm afraid the contents of my mind are classified, sirs.
Ghoulies
That's
and
funny.
imps from a black... Most people would be frightened to be tethered to an id-driven maniac with increasingly dangerous psychic abilities. But not me. And I'm absolutely not thinking this because Max is reading my mind right now. Really.
I'm
Okay,
convinced.
how about this? Coffin-bound specters with bleaching white...
I'll become a
bones.
car. If you have to ask why, I don't know what to tell you.
Yikes!
It's really bizarre that they just get like a sense of that immediately without looking at it. I don't think that's how toys work.
Float like a liquored up chimpanzee.
Perhaps we should concentrate.
Ghoulies and imps. The spirits have moved on.
Sure they have. I knew you couldn't talk to the dead.
Better luck next time, sirs.
I was kind of hoping that would teach me something about my goal there, and maybe I just missed it, but I don't feel like I got that out of
I
that.
wonder if we'll ever find out what Mama Bosco's dimensional destabilizer does.
It's a device used to coerce a transient resonant integration pattern of the subquantum harmonic vibrational frequencies between this and adjoining dimensional membranes.
I wonder if we'll ever find out what this dimensional destabilizer does.
I hope it makes pie.
Can I get the phone number? There was a phone up here last time.
Hey, Max, look. Mama Bosco changed her number.
In the last 24 hours? Huh, being dead must be making her paranoid.
I don't know what that will do for me, but it will do something, I guess. Can you just deal with all this using President Max's military weapons? I mean... yeah, but then we'd destroy the toys too, and that would diminish President Max's horrifying psychic powers. Obviously, we don't want that. I think we go back to the main room and check the other paths we can take. I feel like this is presently a dead end. I think there were 2 other ways? No, maybe just the one, because one is back to Stinky's. Wait a minute, there's like... it looks like there's someone on something moving in the background, but I don't think it had a hitbox.
I wonder what's down this tunnel.
There's only 5 or 6 ways to find out.
Well, let's take the one that doesn't involve explosives or time travel.
Spoil sport.
I love that joke. I feel like I make similar jokes to that often.
Well, here we are, back in
At
the
the
Museum
museum.
of Mostly Natural History. And look, Paperweight's office. Maybe he can tell us what's going on with all these Sams.
Why should he?
A trash can.
My psychic clue sense is tingling.
You know I can't stand looking at you when you dig through garbage.
No time to indulge your delicate sensibilities, Sam. Look!
What is it?
Hey, I just find the clues. And besides, I seem to have temporarily lost my ability to read.
A disturbing side effect of your psychic
Oh no, he was the
abilities?
cat!
Nah,
All
I
along!
just can't be bothered.
It's a letter from our old pal Sal, resigning from his job at the museum.
Should a 6-foot-tall cockroach really be putting himself out on the job market in this economy?
Maybe we should ask him. He left a forwarding number.
Sweet!
Oh, cool. That means we should be able to teleport to him. Can
It's
we
locked.
go
Yeah,
in
but
here?
at least there aren't a bicycle of eldritch tentacles guarding it anymore.
I don't think bicycle is the group word for tentacles, Max.
Wait, you fool! Oh, sorry.
See, again, I feel like we should have his phone number, because we had it before. Well, I guess we had it with the Pharaoh. That's fair.
We've got important work to do. Good day.
I said good day, sir.
Good day, sir.
Well, I never...
Someone likes Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Alright, can I shoot first and ask some questions later?
That'd be a waste of bullets.
Okay, well, in that case, let's go see Sal, because everything else seems like I don't care about it. How obvious should the nature of this job be? I mean, is it just Stinky's back room? Or had he already been fired by Grandpa Stinky? Yeah, that timeline was a little confusing. So he works at...
Oh, there's Sal.
And a bunch of doggledangers.
That is the DeSoto.
Hope those Sams show more respect for our car than we do.
What a stupid thing to say.
Convenient.
I feel like the ventriloquism ability will make the seance a lot more
Sam?
effective. That one's been busy. He's only been alive for like 20 minutes. Pick up familiar ventriloquist dummy.
Hey, look, Max. It's our old friend Charlie Hotep.
Get it away! Get it away!
Come on, Max. He'll give you cool ventriloquism powers, just like your great-grandpa Maximus had in olden times.
Fine, I'll do it for the powers. But for the record, I want to make it clear that I find Charlie Hotep, like all ventriloquist dummies, completely creepy and disgusting.
So are you, but you don't see me getting skittish about it.
In your brain. Oh, hang on.
Corpulent dogmen swarm city.
Corpulence? The nerve!
I know.
Joey would have allowed them to use a larger typeface and been alliterative to boot.
Hurtful but accurate? Run willy-nilly down streets into the
We
city.
better not go out there. The city's crawling with clones.
More like jiggling and waddling.
Hey, just out of curiosity, if I become a car again, does like the whole world end?
Toy car, toy car, toy car.
Yikes!
Toy car.
Toys? Toys? Toys.
Shoot or run?
Let's run. Toys.
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 Yikes.
Toys.
So we're not talking to Sal until we do something about this, huh?
Well, that was a harrowing chase down the clown-infested streets of the city.
And the clones were pretty bad too.
At least we finally lost them.
Does that mean now we can talk to Sal? No. We have reset reality. Okay. So let's then... I don't know. While we're here, let's see what type of interactions we may have with Sal from a distance.
I can do better than that. I'll draw you a picture.
Okay, he has some information that we need, I guess, is what that means. And can I read his mind?
Dooby-dooby-doo, stacking some crates up, dooby-dooby-doo.
He really
Very
is
important.
a simple guy, isn't he?
Oh, read clone
Keep your
mind.
distance, Max. We don't want those toy-sniffing Sammun-Makers coming after us. Toys, toys, toys.
Ow!
These handsome devils are all sharing the same mind. Amazing.
Amazing for you, but my nasal passages are about to be visited by Uncle Flo.
I'm troubled by that. I should have anticipated that. What is in Buster Blaster's future?
This is totally awesome!
Okay. Surprising and unhelpful, but interesting nonetheless. And then... in theory, I could ventriloquism, like, something. I don't know.
Hey, dogglegangers! It's me, Max! I'm in this warehouse with all sorts of juicy psychic toys.
Toys.
We just had a whole banana peel on his face.
Toys. Toys?
Can we talk to Sal now? Or is that too close?
Sal.
Sam and Max, what brings you guys down to the warehouse district?
All the usual. Mystery, intrigue.
The roar of the grease paint, the smell of the
I think it's actually insanely funny for Sal to open that conversation making no allusion to the fact that while we've been standing here, like 8 other almost naked dogglegangers have just been like rummaging through the garbage, and he's just like, "Oh, Sam, how are you today?" Oh boy.
How are you coping with all these Sam clones?
Is that what they are? I thought they might be some of your skinnier, less inhibited cousins from over in the village.
It's hurtful.
So my clones haven't been hassling you?
A little, but I don't seem to have whatever it is they're looking for.
What's in those crates?
Beats me. As long as there's nothing in these babies that keep me from stacking them, I could give a Junebug's behind about what's in them, you know?
So you gave up your cushy job at the museum for this?
You bet. That museum gig was getting dangerous. What with all the fires, the slimy tentacles, and the gorilla pummelings. I'm just not cut out for a life of excitement like that.
Because Sal's practically naked and doesn't strike her as a judgmental guy. I mean, clearly not, but I'm less concerned about judgmental and more like, at the very least, I feel like I would expect someone to be like, hey, you know anything about this? They do look almost exactly like you.
What exactly are you doing out here anyway?
Oh, I've got a great job stacking crates. Doesn't pay much, but it's way less violent. At least it was until those guys came along.
Stack on, good buddy.
You know it, Sam.
I really like Sal, Sam. It'd be a shame if he got sucked into the undertow of the mayhem and destruction that follows us around like an awestruck teenager.
What the hell are you talking about, Max? Looks like my clones have already picked this pile of junk clean. Hey, it's our noisy old friend Bluster Blaster.
More like a barely tolerated acquaintance.
You look like chum, old chum.
Sam! Max! What are you doing in Vegas?
Oh, boy.
Do you think you'll rejoin the cops now that your Vegas adventure is over?
That portion of my life is terminated!
Oh, dang.
What happened to you?
Yeah, we thought you were in Vegas helping Bosco count cards and pick up showgirls.
Maximum failure!
Why?
Counted cards out loud!
Yeah, the dealers tend to notice things like that.
That's extremely
Need
stupid.
any help?
No thank you! I'll just sit here until my shields regenerate!
No, you're a game that's much older than that sort of thing.
Do you know what happened to Bosco?
Bosco stayed in Vegas to pay off debt to casino!
Cleaning tables?
Male stripper!
Ew.
Interesting.
Left letter to give to Mama!
Oh, sweet. That's probably important.
Dear Mama, guess what? I met a girl, so it looks like I'll be staying in Vegas a little bit longer than originally planned. Please take care of the store while I'm away. Love, Bosco.
P.S. Could you wire me about $20,000?
Worst Bosco impression ever!
Which one?
Mind if we deliver this to Mama Bosco?
Take it! I never want anything to do with Bosco ever again!
Nico asks why failure. Well, I mean, as Max pointed out, dealers tend to notice people counting cards out loud.
Say, you wouldn't happen to know anything about all these Sam clones running around, would you?
Those are real?
Yeah.
Holy Mother of God!
I think that's a no.
See you, Bluster.
Welcome back, Bluster Blaster.
Yes!
I've missed you. Okay. I mean, I definitely think that letter is a step closer to the seance. I suppose I could try it. Not like immediately having other ideas that will like actively progress anything. We do have ventriloquism now, which we did not before. Interesting phone. Yeah, I mean, I think most of us have a newer cell phone at our disposal. In reality, Jakey, since I don't know if you've seen any of this latest Sammun-Mak series, it's constructed really heavily around this weird concept of psychic toys. And so this toy phone lets you teleport to any place where you've learned a phone number. So like when we looked at this phone before, for example, we gained the ability to teleport to this location. But yes, my cell phone also looks like that.
Again?
Fisher Price phone?
I have
Yep.
nothing better to do tonight.
Yeah, since your social calendar is usually so packed with nightclubs and supermodels.
Very cutting, sir. Shall we begin?
Okay, how about this? Coffin-bound specters with bleaching white bones.
So
Reach
what
out
if
and
we,
touch
like...
us by... This seance is scary. Somebody please hold me.
Very funny, Mr. President. Perhaps we should concentrate on the task at hand.
Whoa, tough room.
I believe! I believe! Spirits of the underworld, speak to me!
I didn't say that.
Okay, how about this? Coffin-bound specters with bleaching white bones.
Reach out and touch us by ringing our phones!
I don't think rubbing Bosco's spit-soaked letter is an address to them. Ghoulies and Bosco's... Oh, tough room. Let's
So
try
I'm
another one.
guessing...
Float like a liquored-up chimpanzee.
Spirits, come out wherever you be!
Yeah, I don't think... If ventriloquism doesn't do anything right now and the letter doesn't do anything right now, it's probably still not time for this.
Know it!
Okay, how about this? Coffin-bound specters with bleaching white...
Right.
It's a pretty aggressive
Perhaps you could work together
loop
to
of
concoct
generic
a more
seance
convincing-
phrases.
We were just getting around to doing that.
So the main drive doesn't have another path, does it? You can go to Paperweight's office, the diner, or the seance. So there's junk preventing me from going that way. There's really nothing there. Also... Ooh. Is there like a phone over there?
I wonder what that glowing hand does.
You have what you want. Now give them the air. Is that a coffee mug?
Yes, and unless my rarely utilized razor-sharp senses are wrong, it's full of herbal tea.
Ugh, what kind of laid-back monster sips soothing tea from faraway places while commanding armies of Sam clones?
There's probably a way to make this microphone work for us, but how?
Wait, I have an idea. I don't know what I would do with this ability. Okay, that's fair, sort of, but I feel like that's probably the right track. Can I look at the future of that area? No, also? Okay, Can I look at the future of, like, anything in here?
Boy, I could sure go for a fudgy freeze right about now. That platform looks like a target-rich environment. Now what should I shoot first? Hey Max, think we can hit that coffee cup from down here?
Only if our arms get really big.
With bullets, Chowderhead.
Oh, that's easy.
Particle effects.
Or maybe not.
That glass is nigh indestructible.
What does nigh mean, Sam?
Means I read too many comic books.
I assume this is still covered by... Yeah. It's interesting. How am I meant to
event of a firestorm, the Club
change
Chamber's
that?
salad bar will remain open.
Back to the diner just because I haven't been there recently. And maybe something has changed. No. What paper's here?
Grandfather, will you please tell this booze-soaked gumshoe to get out of our diner?
Just answer the man's questions so I can get on with my pathetic excuse for a life.
Flint, what's shaking?
Hiya, boys! Just putting the finishing touches on this whole girl stinky caper.
Really?
Well, no. But Grandpa Stinky's gonna stop paying me if I don't wrap this case up tonight, so I'm kind of winging it here.
I've had you on retainer for months, and you didn't even know she'd installed nae one, but 2 secret tunnels under my diner!
Mind if we kibitz in your interrogation?
Be my guest, boys. I'm hitting a brick wall with Miss Motormouth here. See? Now, where were we? Oh, yeah. Who's this Mr. S mug? And what are the 2 of you planning to do to Grandpa Stinky?
Ooh, let's noir.
Stinky's words dug into my heart like a hot shovel through a tub of warm butter, sprinkled with bacon bits and...
Stinky didn't say anything, Sam.
See what I'm working with here?
Maybe she doesn't know how these hard-boiled interrogations are supposed to work.
I think you're right, Max. Let's show her how it's done. I'll be Flint, and you be Stinky.
Fine, but if I get typecast, you're getting a nasty call from my agent.
All right, sister. What's the deal with all your secret tunnels?
Secret tunnels? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Liar.
You filthy, rotten liar. We know all about the secret cloning facility at the end of your secret tunnel, so spill.
Cloning facility? What are you talking about?
No, that's his line.
Come on, Stinky. Don't pretend you don't know anything about the massive Sam cooking machines we found at the end of your secret tunnel.
Get out of my way!
Not so fast, Dollface. You're not going anywhere until you answer some questions.
Fine, fire away. Anything to get me out of this madhouse.
Okay then, from the top. Who's this Mr. S mug? And what are the 2 of you planning to do to Grandpa Stinky?
Mr. S is Sam. We were planning Grandpa Stinky's surprise birthday party.
I feel like I'm supposed to get her out of the interrogation, so let's try explaining.
What the what now?
You heard me. Mr. S is Sam. The 2 of us were planning Grandpa Stinky's surprise birthday party.
You lousy liar. My birthday isn't for another 5 months.
Lots of
That's why
planning.
it was going to be such a surprise.
Is this true, Sam?
It sure is. She'd already ordered your favorite cake.
I did. Oh, I mean, that's right. I did.
A cake, eh? Well, I'll tell you what. If you and Sam can cough up my favorite cake, I'll send Mr. Paper home. Until then, you're not going anywhere, granddaughter.
Time to read someone's mind about cake, which is awesome.
Ask me to help. I love licking envelopes and cooking up embarrassing party games.
Don't be a dolt, Max. This whole party thing is just another brick in Stinky's mountain of lies. But if we cover for her, maybe Flint will let her go, and she can lead us to her mysterious Mr. S and the mastermind behind these rakishly handsome Sam clones.
Sounds convoluted and absurd.
Don't we already know that
All
Mr.
we
S
have
is
to do now
concocting?
find Grandpa Stinky's favorite cake.
Time to read minds.
The dame was a symphony of ice and sarcasm, and I was the out-of-tune sax player trying to horn in on her action.
Gross.
The rabbit listened to the music and wondered if he'd tuned into the wrong station.
Wow, Flint even thinks in barely applicable metaphors.
Shaka. His mind blown.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible reference.
Poor Max. Poor Max.
I can't believe I need Flomo and the Bean to get me out of here.
I used to listen to them on
Stinky
K-Rock.
keeps coming up with insulting nicknames for us in her head.
A party? A likely story.
I forgot.
Still, it'd be nice to get a slice of upside-down Uzbekian blood cake surprise.
Okay, great. How do I do that? How does that work? Let's detect some futures real quick. Oh my god, what is she doing off camera? He seems quite upset.
Meet me at the place. No, the other place.
Ooh, I've got to go try this puppy out on some doggies.
Yeah, so she's making out with Sam, huh? Okay, that's kind of what I figured, and I don't like it. Turning into a car doesn't do anything, but it is funny. Can I, like, do some ventriloquism?
Who stole me pot of gold?
So, Grandpa Stinky's an Irish pirate now?
I'm not so good with accents. A skirt story was flimsier than a soggy sheet of one-ply toilet paper, and twice as smelly. I should do that more often. It's fun. Oh, look, it's my best friends, Sabatini and Masuvias. Making up names is harder than it looks.
Used to have a doctor named Sabatini. That was weird. We should ask someone
Stinky?
about that cake.
Yes.
Where and when can we pick up that cake for the party?
Sal said he'd have it done by today.
Okay. Did
Do you
we...
remember where we put that present for Grandpa Stinky?
I guess the
thought you
present's
said
the
you were
knife,
hiding
huh?
it someplace where no one but you could find it.
I did. I mean, yeah, that's right.
So we gotta get him a fancy knife.
Hang in there, Stinky. We'll have you out of this jam in no time.
I wouldn't be in this jam if you two hadn't butted in on my perfectly good lie.
I don't know. I do think that one's on her. She could have just, like, exposed the secret tunnel and given some, like, crappy explanation, and then we all could have left. And it's actually quite perplexing that Grandpa Stinky wants to remain in here. I sort of get that Flint Paper wants to get paid, but it's really weird that we just want to be, like, set upon by zombie Sams for eternity. I don't know why I wouldn't just teleport to Sal. Oh, he's going to draw us the cake, huh? And then Max will become the cake? Ooh,
it makes me
that's
proud to see
troubling.
my clones going about their labor so diligently.
Aw.
Sam?
Okay. So we have to do another ventriloquism so we can talk to Sal, right?
Hey, dogglegangers! It's me, Max! I'm in this warehouse with all sorts of juicy psychic toys.
Toys?
Toys.
Hey, Sal.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Sal, you're a pretty mean chef, right?
I know my way around a lemon zester, yeah. What about it?
We really need someone to bake a birthday cake, pronto.
Sure, I could probably take a break and whip one up. What kind of cake you guys looking for?
A Newsbecky an upside-down blood cake surprise?
Ooh, that's gonna be a tall order, Sam.
Don't you know how to make it?
Oh, I know how to make it all right. Any confectioner worth his icing sack knows how to make that
Gross.
bad boy. It's just that the ingredients are really hard to come by.
Don't worry about that. Sam and I live to hunt down obscure ingredients or similarly named alternatives.
It's
That's
not
true.
just the ingredients, though. It literally takes a month to bake a Newsbecky an upside-down blood cake surprise. If you want it tonight,
How could
you
that
just
possibly
SOL.
be
Sorry.
scientifically true?
Well, can you at least tell us what it looks like in case we run into it in a dark alley someplace?
I can do better than that. I'll draw you a picture.
An intensely accurate chalk picture?
Voila!
Impressive!
I minored in chalk drawing at the Bilderberg Academy for the Culinary and Visual Arts.
Stack on, good buddy.
You know it, Sam.
This looks like a job for rhinoplasty.
Ooh, this'll be as easy as taking cake from a baby.
I think that's candy.
no! I'm rich, creamy, and full of yak's blood and lard.
And you're a cake, too.
Oof, man, it's troubling to think that you could shapeshift and then suddenly be aware that you were made of blood. Okay, so I gotta get a knife from somewhere. Also, could the resignation letter possibly do something other than find us Sal?
I think Sal left a forwarding number on this resignation letter. It's Bosco's letter to Mama Bosco.
Ew, he got Bosco spit all over the envelope.
Bosco always was a bit of a drooler.
Because says Vasco, I didn't want to be the one to have to tell you this, but I think you should know that you're also made of blood. That's not true. I'm just made of meat and skeleton. There's no blood in there. Has anyone seen that? I feel like it's made the rounds a couple times. It's like a viral tweet screenshot of like one of those stupid like one-sentence horror stories where it's like it's something to the effect of like the hero stared down the necromancer like on the verge of besting him until the necromancer said, "You forgot about one skeleton," and the hero's bones began to ache or something like that. Can't teleport while cake. That's fair. It would be quite powerful to be a teleporting cake. Alright, so I feel like I have no idea what to do with the seance, and I need a knife, and I don't really feel like I have leads on either presently. It seems unlikely I need to do anything else with the rhinoplasty in the short term. It is possible that they may have two simultaneous paths that do that, but really the only things that have felt viable so far have been the car, which feels like a dead end, and the cake. Maybe the car will come up later, but for now I think I'm good just assuming that cake is my option until I need it or see something obvious otherwise. Ventriloquism is something I only gained by coming here, so it feels like it should be important to moving forward. It does let me talk to Sal, so that is something, like, productive that it has managed to do already. I mean, like, I can't teleport to a new place. I guess I could try going to Paperweight's office and see if, like, something is different there or something. Did I not? I thought I got phone number for that. We should find Kate Walker and take her knife since she doesn't know how to use it. That would save us a lot of time and would cause minimal damage to the timeline of Siberia 3 because, as you point out, she is really bad at using that knife she had for a really long time. So I guess let's go to... I don't know that it matters. Getting the old Siberia games to work on a modern computer kind of sucks. I was contemplating doing next year a similar venture through all the Siberia games to what we've done with Sammun-Mak this year. I don't know if that's too much. What is the seance table for? Well, ostensibly the purpose of the seance table is that we are trying to contact the spirit of Mama Dr. Bosco because she went missing after the events of episode 1 where she gave us the technology to make the second penal zone. But, like, the game hasn't really given what I feel is, like, a clear indication of, like, how to succeed at a seance. Like, you just start the seance and then, like, Sam just repeats, like, 2 different, like, seance jargons, like, aggressively on a loop for an indefinite amount of time until you hit the gong again. I feel like the psychic toys have something to do with it, but I don't specifically know what goals I'm trying to achieve.
Harry, please go away. Just the sight of you is a painful reminder of all those millions I gave up.
Hey, that's what happens when I don't get second dates, which is all the time.
How'd you get out of Skunk Ape's ship?
I'm glad you asked. My incredible adventure began when I discovered a small crack in the back of my cell.
On second thought, never mind.
What sorts of high-tech equipment was Mama Bosco storing in your hole?
How should I know? She never tells me anything.
Why don't you tell us about those recently departed relatives?
Sorry, Sam, the memory's too fresh.
Fair enough. Hang in there, Harry.
The joys of always on games, says Demolition. Grey Goo, an old RTS from 2010, says to connect to a server to play single player skirmish rounds.
It's very unnerving.
Like that stuff makes me insane.
Superball! How's it hanging, buddy?
I'm afraid that's classified, sirs.
I missed him.
One thing that like just generally turns me off to like online multiplayer focused games is that like at any time they can just like change or discontinue the experience that you know and love, and it will never be accessible again. Now in some ways that's an argument to enjoy it while it lasts, but like that sort of thing, just like as someone who grew up with like NES games that like have been, you know, ported to other things and are still like able to be played and appreciated, like something about that idea just always makes me like ridiculously upset.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, why aren't you back at the White House keeping that backstabbing Secretary of Health and Human Services away from my Cuban cigars?
Oh dear.
I'm here to investigate the rampaging Sam clones and their possible connection to the so-called Devil's Toy Box, sirs.
What a coinky-dink! So are we!
Yes, sirs. Quite the coinkydink.
Hey, if you're here and I'm here, who's running the country right now?
I've taken the liberty of installing an amusing bobblehead figurine in the Oval Office. No one seems to have noticed.
What will happen once the Sam clones gather all the toys?
Nobody knows. A few experts believe that the person who created the clones will use the fully empowered Devil's Toy Box to psychically bring about a golden age of unity and harmony.
That'd be an unexpected twist.
But most of them concur that we'll likely be facing some sort of universal Armageddon scenario in which a horrific beast of unimaginable power reigns over the earth.
No, I see what you're saying.
Envy the dead.
Stay loose, Superball.
I always do, sirs.
I guess maybe I haven't tried reading their minds outside of the seance. I don't know if that will do something different.
Stupid Superball can't even contact Uncle Morty, and he's only been dead for a week.
No, wait, maybe I did do this.
I'm afraid the contents of my mind are classified, sirs.
Well, that was odd.
Maybe these things don't change inside and outside the seance?
I know it! It's a miracle!
Forget that Max was the president in this world? Yeah. I mean, some number of people voted for him. And, you know, I feel like you could do worse.
I, Harry S. Bowman, being of weak mind and weaker body, hereby authorize Agent Superball to exile me to a ninth world heckhole of his choosing.
That wasn't me!
Very witty, sirs.
Sir, I think you should know that under this jacket I'm going totally commando.
Very amusing, sirs.
Yeah, this room is really annoying to me. I don't feel like they've given me a very good sense of
gyroscopic inhibitor.
What they want me to do. Okay, hold on a second. It's my notebook. Oh boy, that's a lot of text. Stinky seems like a likely suspect, but before Flint will free her to meet up with her mysterious Mr. S, Max and I have to give Grandpa Stinky a birthday cake. Okay, so we asked about a present. Do we not need a present? Can we just do the cake? Because we have a cake answer, although I don't know that I love Grandpa Stinky eating the cake that we have, but, you know. Thus is progress. Ventriloquism during the seance to pretend to be that relative? I tried that and it didn't work. It may be a thing I need to do later, but I would seem to need to do something to change the current status quo. Okay, hold on. Become a cake?
Happy birthday, Grandpa Stinky!
Is that
One upside-down Uzbekian blood cake surprise.
Why does it have Max's face on it?
Blood looks right, but let's see if it's got the surprise. An Uzbekian flensing knife. The
Oh.
secret ingredient the Mongols used in all their cakes.
Now do you
Don't know how I was
believe me?
supposed to know that.
Tasty cake.
Tasty cake. Oh, he ate right into Max's face.
You two really were planning my birthday party, weren't you?
I really hate this
I'm
scene.
gonna go try this puppy out on some doggies. All right, you furry trespassers. Make way for Daddy.
There's only one thing I don't understand. Why does Sam call you my queen in his letter?
Well, because Sam and I have been carrying on a torrid love affair for years.
Daddy
Is that
does
right, hon?
not approve!
I ended up being well timed, but not for what you intended, Neko.
Meet me at the place. No, the other place.
I don't know what kind of game you're playing here, Sam, but now that I've seen you and Stinky smooching, all I really want to do is climb into a bottle and wipe out a few brain cells.
You know, Sam, that whole stinky kissing thing kind of made me wish for the sweet release of death, too.
I know, little buddy, but it'll be worth it if we can track Stinky to the real Mr. S who's controlling all these Sam clones. Do you still remember Stinky's cell phone number?
Do I? It spells out my second favorite bodily excretion.
Any guesses in chat? Not that the game will tell us what that was. But like the actual Mr. S, at least previously, was Skunkape.
Ah, there you are, Mr. S.
Is it a boy clone of Girl Stinky?
I would have gotten here sooner, but the old fool and his Seamus wouldn't let me leave. We've got to get rid of them once and for all.
Do we have to? Killing seems so deadly.
Trust me, sweetie. It's the only way to get everything we want.
Oh,
In a rocket
baby.
cannon.
Okay, that's quite enough of that.
It's Droopy and Stitch.
Sammun-Mak.
What are you doing down here?
We were about to ask you the same question.
We were? I was gonna ask about biological compatibility issues.
All right, fine. There's no point in denying it any longer. This is where Sal and I meet to revel in our forbidden love.
Yeah.
And you claim
forbidden
not to know
love
about the
thing.
cloning facility?
Not where we meet to discuss getting rid of our evil grandpa Stink. Ah!
Right, just the forbidden love.
Really? Then how do you explain that?
Whoa.
Where'd those come from? Yes, Master.
Sam, what just happened?
Sounding
Well,
totally
on the
normal.
upside, it looks like neither Stinky nor her chitinous boyfriend are the master of these Samalites. On the downside, it appears that our icky and potentially murderous loverbirds are under the psychic thrall of our mysterious fiend.
Man, I wouldn't want to be the master when Stinky snaps out of it. She straight up hates thralls. Whee!
I like that they spawned next to each other and that just immediately happened. Can I talk to them while they're hypnotized?
Sal?
Sal's not really here right now, guys. Only the, what do you call it? Indomitable will of the Master.
The master's name is Will?
The Master wants you to know that half-assed wordplay won't get you any closer to revealing his identity.
Well, there goes 90% of our repertoire. Stinky?
There is no stinky worm, only the unknowable will of the Master.
Yeah, can't say I'm loving the new attitude, Stinky.
Then again, we really
Yeah,
don't
the
have
same
a real
attitude.
either.
Can I like ventriloquism then to do my bidding in some capacity?
Hi, my name is Stinky. Animals love me. Please kill my grandpa.
Harsh, but accurate.
Yep, I'm Sal. I just can't make fun of the big lug.
I mean, my first thought is, well, actually, can I, like, read their minds while their minds are being controlled? Does that tell me something useful?
La-di-da, waiting for the master's orders. La-di-da-da.
I'm not sure whether it's comforting or creepy as hell that Sal's still a good-natured bohunk even when he's enthralled.
I'm not certain either.
Trying to read my slave's mind? How rude. Ow!
What is this, Yu-Gi-Oh? Can I future vision them? No, somehow she gets over there. Is she polishing that mug? So if he goes and tries to repair whatever that is, the screen will be down so we could shoot the mug, which makes her go over there? For some reason? And it feels like Paperweight is the most qualified person to do a psychic possession of the current roster of existing characters. Or like Dr. Norrington or whatever.
Oh, what now? Get rid of them!
You again?
If we could just...
We gotta get in there, Sam!
Why? I mean, other than the generic amusement of antagonizing people.
I think Monsieur Paperweight's mysterious boss, Dr. Norrington, is in there.
And?
And I need to thank him for helping me out against Sammun-Mak.
That's uncharacteristically kind or whatever. The fact that I can see him means I should probably do something here, right?
Let's see. Foot, snake, squiggle squiggle, bird. Done!
We probably should have guessed that one. Still remember the code?
I'll have you know I've got a mind like a steel tramp.
Trap.
Really? Huh. A steel tramp would be a lot more fun in a bum fight.
Oh dear.
Ah! Don't look at me!
Oh, come on. You're not that ugly.
You don't understand. Human minds aren't equipped to comprehend. Hey, Sam, there's a guy in here. No!
Hey. That's a thing that happens in Mask of
Most
Nyarlathotep.
humans are driven incurably insane by the mere glimpse of my unspeakable visage.
Yeah, well, no offense, but we get more unspeakable visages in our convention swag.
So you're the mysterious Dr. Norrington?
I am known by many names. Among them, Yog-Sothoth, Elder Fiend of the Dark Dimension.
You seem more chill than I expected.
Shocking, true, but not nearly as shocking as the horrific truths I suspect I must now reveal.
You doing those tentacles that sometimes block our way?
What do you have to say about all those creepy tentacles we found in the cloning chamber?
Tentacles?
Yeah, like the ones your boy Paperweight summoned in the museum last night. Cthulhu's wattle! Oh, I'm using that.
Only one such as myself can summon the Cilia of Torment. Whoever's controlling your clones must be awash in the forces of the Dark Dimension.
Did you really just say awash?
The only thing that can properly vanquish matter from the Dark Dimension is the
Antimatter from the Dark Dimension?
Destroyer.
Oh, that sounds cool. Can I give me that?
What's the Chthonic Destroyer?
Is it pointy?
The Chthonic Destroyer is the ultimate psychic toy. A weapon so terrible that it was once used to
There's gotta be something embarrassing as a toy, right?
Back to their home in the Dark Dimension.
Ah, look, that mole man is smiting an army.
Mind if we hold on to this?
Looks like a
Got
trading
thing for
card.
illuminated manuscripts.
If it will help you find the Chthonic Destroyer, yes, of course.
Thanks. I'll try to keep Max from drawing dirty pictures in the margins. Can the destroyer be used against those tentacles?
The Destroyer is proof against anything from the Dark Dimension. Me, the tentacles, the toy box.
Sam, we gotta
Why would
get
you?
one of these
Why
things.
would you tell me
You'll
that
have
it
to find
like
the
kills
hidden
you?
giggling realm of skittering ingestion if you wish to find the Destroyer.
Is it possible that that's where Mama Bosco went? Got to mention the green shiny monster. Yeah, I mean, in fairness, I don't know that we ever asked.
You and Paperweight seem to know a lot about that Devil's Toy Box that everybody keeps stealing.
The Devil's Toy Box. Ha! You should be so lucky.
What are you talking about?
The toy box is of a power far greater than that of your primitive gods and devils. It is the property of my grandson, Junior.
Junior?
Yes, Junior, the youngest and most horrible of
Verlaine?
the Elder Gods. His birthing wail shattered the supercontinent of Pangaea. His first steps sunk the proto-civilizations of Subarctica.
Junior?
In an effort to stop my rampaging grandchild from destroying the Omniverse, I brought many of my precious childhood keepsakes over from the Dark Dimension to keep Junior distracted and entertained, as well as a box to contain their frightening power.
Junior?
Unfortunately, when the Elder Gods were banished to the Dark Dimension, Junior's toy box was lost during the move. And in the millennia since, he just will not stop whining about it.
Junior?
It's a lot scarier if you've got the requisite complement of larynxes to pronounce it correctly.
I really feel like we missed an opportunity to just have one of these be Junior, and then Max just says Junior incredulously again.
Hold the phone. You're Yog-Sothoth, the world-shattering Elder God?
You look like something my non-existent cat coughed up.
Curb your tongue, rabbit!
Oh, hey, look, it's a Sam.
Oh no, Paperweight, the Naked One is right. This debased form is a pathetic shadow of my former glory. Long before the dawn of man, my kind was sovereign over this dimension and countless others.
Oh, there's a...
We
okay.
welcome the development of sentient life, drinking deeply from your bottomless well springs of terror.
Don't drink from my bottom.
And also your succulent hairy flesh.
Ew.
For untold eons, we lapped at the perpetual buffet of your horror and worship, until powerful forces rallied to drive us back to the Dark Dimension.
Forces?
Primitive hybrids somehow impervious to our powers. You know them as mole men.
Get out of here.
Yes, that's exactly what they ordered us to do.
You know, it's a lot harder to take you prehistoric Elder Gods seriously, now that I know you were banished by a bunch of mole men.
Scoff if you must, but the mole people were much more powerful before they were genetically marginalized by the cruel twists of evolution.
Just like Uncle Billy.
So,
It's a lot of
call you
backstory.
Yog-Sothoth or Norrington?
Call me Dr. Norrington. When uttered by your mortal tongues, my true name sounds disturbingly like our term for number 2.
You should hear him say nuclear.
Do you know anything about all these handsome brutes that are stealing toys throughout the city?
The clones are meaningless.
And chubby.
Hey!
The shield is
But
not
if they
important.
are truly stealing toys, then their master may be attempting to gather a complete collection of the toys of power.
Collect all 1,024. Impress your friends.
And destroy the entirety of existence as we know it.
Bummer.
You've already borne witness to the damage that can be wrought when the Devil's Toy Box is mostly full. If the box is completely engorged, its power will
Gross.
tear down the walls of reality itself.
Ocean says the nuclear thing is a Bush joke. I mean, I feel like it was already sort of commonly mispronounced by people before it rose to like a peak public awareness with a president of the United States unable to say it correctly. It's one of those things like coupon versus coupon, where like people just have done it for always.
So why have the 1.5 of you been trying to get your hands on the toy box all these years?
To destroy it!
But why? It's got all those cool toys that make my brain tingle and my ears all fuzzy.
The toys of power were never meant for mortal hands.
Or
For the
minds.
sake of all that exists, they must be returned to the toy box and annihilated.
So how did gigantic behemoth of an elder god like you get stuck in panty waste anyway?
Paperweight!
Silence! Several decades ago, Monsieur Paperweight
There's so many
foolishly
visual aids
attempted
handy.
to summon me to this plane of existence.
Yeah, we may have heard something about that.
Paperweight's infantile conjurings were doomed to failure, but the uncanny power of your grandsire's brain somehow managed to extrude an infinitesimally tiny fraction of my essence into this dimension. It
That's
became
rough, buddy.
fused with Paperweight's unsettlingly hairless and ladylike torso.
We've spent the better part of a century trying to retrieve the toy box and send the great Yog-Sothoth home.
And we would have succeeded last night if you hadn't lost your temper over that slobbering space ape.
Sorry about that.
I don't know. People keep blaming Sam for stuff that's definitely not entirely his fault. I feel like Paperweight's methodology and his own mistakes also factored into this, at minimum.
You're not gonna take my toys, are you?
Not yet. Your chaotic mastery of the toys of power may yet prove useful in defeating the master of these blasphemous portly canines.
So, aside from tearing apart reality, anything else you think we should know about the Plague of Me?
Only that they should seriously consider a gym membership.
Stay put. We'll probably have more questions later.
Your kind always does.
Closely
And
studied.
lo, did Brother Acidophilus return in a flash of light from the giggling realm of skittering ingestion, armed with the Chthonic Destroyer. Though giggling and plagued with visions of skittering insects, noble Acidophilus smote the beasties from the dark dimension with the Destroyer. His enemies laid low. Acidophilus returned the Destroyer to the gibbering realm and resumed his peaceful life of molitude. Years later, he was eaten by a crazed beast.
That is the worst story I've ever heard.
I don't think they'd invented the 3-act structure back then, Max. It's a page from an illuminated manuscript detailing an incident with something called the Destroyer. Let's see, flash of light, blah blah blah, giggling realm of skittering ingestion, giggling and beset by visions of insects, Destroyer defeats things from the dark dimension, later eaten by a beast.
I think I prefer that reading better.
What do I do with that information? Like, I get the general idea, but I don't, like, that doesn't feel like that's the solution to the seance. How would I give people visions of insects? I didn't use my toys in here. I feel like trying to read Norrington's mind would be
Cease your
horrifying.
intrusions into my host's mind.
That sounds unpleasant.
Ooh, I'm a scary sorcerer with a squid in my belly. Fear me.
What a horrid impersonation.
I see you have acquired Charlie Hotep.
Yeah, creepy little thing, ain't he?
Oh my, yes. I don't even know why I brought him over. Junior hated him, played with him for about 10 minutes, then tossed him aside like a used snot rag.
That's kinda sad.
The elder gods are beyond your mortal concepts of sentiment. They do not...
Give it a rest.
Are there things that aren't... did I check Sam? I don't think I checked Sam's future. Why would he dance into the hallway? That was weird, didn't I? Rhinoplasty with Paperweight's journal.
Hey, what gives?
After your recent rhinoplasty rampage through my museum, I cast a spell preventing you from transforming into anything in my possession. Ha!
Boy, you are a little ball of spite, aren't you?
You have no idea.
Still nothing.
So if I stole something or killed him, then I would be able to transform into these things? Is there a reason why I need that?
Can we borrow this?
You most certainly may not. It is so fragile that the slightest breeze destroy it.
But
the scroll is meaningless.
Say, Papercut, mind if we take a closer look at your journal?
I promise to laugh at your bad poetry and schoolboy crushes.
No!
I'm afraid I must concur with my host. Paperweight's journal contains all the spells we'll eventually need to destroy the toy box and send me home.
Then why have you just left it there?
Paperweight must have used this antique privacy screen to help protect his horrible squiddy secret all these years.
We also used it to perform psyche-destroying shadow puppet shows for the kiddies.
I'm gonna go back to the...
We're sorry. The number you have dialed is unavailable at this time.
I guess I should never go back to the diner. Or something.
Darn. Bet it's a psychic side effect of all this dark dimensional folderol.
Are you saying that because we're in this office? Or just general... Hang on. Is there a hitbox to leave? How am I meant to leave? Okay, I'm gonna try teleporting somewhere else, and if I can't... Nope, that bounced back, and that was not what I wanted to highlight. Too stinky. Okay. Hey, it's funny. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for Demolition for an ongoing gift sub. Boy, it sure feels increasingly like the only thing to do is the seance. Let me try one other thing. This shouldn't work either? Oh, it does. Which made you say hi? I mean, there's a lot of psychic shenanigans, so people are definitely compelled to do things. Hello, also to Cotillion. Welcome. Collectively have one of these.
Toys?
Oh, we got too close without doing the ventriloquism thing. Don't really know what else could be done here. Christmas is official. Started yesterday. In what capacity? What started yesterday, Ice Bunny? Is there anything else we gained from Bluster Blaster? No. I guess we'll go do a seance then. I guess. Christmas market. The Swedish church. Did you go, Ice Bunny? Anything exciting? Do they already have some sort of wintertime confection to celebrate? What happens if I try to go outside? Just can't, I presume?
What's the deal with this impenetrable blast door?
We thought it prudent to seal up Mama Bosco's lab until the crisis passes, sirs.
I'm not opening that. The last time we rifled through Mama Bosco's closet of spooky ghost clothes, Max got ectoplasm all over himself.
Gross.
Grandpa Stinky was wrong. It won't be time to boil the haggis for another 3.5 hours.
What an incredible callback that is easily missed. Alright. Still kind of...
It's a page from an illuminated manuscript. Let's see. Flash a light, blah, blah, blah. Giggling realm of skittering ingestion. Giggling and beset by visions of insects. Destroyer defeats things from the dark dimension. Leader eaten by a beast.
Another ludicrous seance? I'm starting to get a little embarrassed for you.
Well, that's ironic.
Gentlemen.
Oh, tough room. Let's try another one. Float like a liquored up chimpanzee.
Spirits come out wherever you... I believe! I believe!
I didn't say that.
Ghoulies and imps.
This seance is scary. Somebody please hold me.
Very funny, Mr. President.
Okay, how about this? Coffin-bound specters with bleaching white bones.
Reach out and touch us by ringing our phones.
I'm not giving this away. It's my key to finding the giggling realm of skittering ingestion. I'm not giving... Oh, tough room. Let's try another one. Float like a liquored up... I'm not giving... Okay, how about this? Keep your eyes peeled, Max. Ghoulies and imps from a black...
Perhaps we should concentrate on the task at hand.
Oh, tough room.
The lack of instructions here is making me a little insane.
Like a liquored up chimpanzee.
They're like, why don't you just like happen to know how this game wants you to do a seance? Am I missing something? Does someone feel like there's some unexplored, like, I feel like this is the only thing I can do, and I feel like I don't know what to do here.
Okay, how about
Because
this?
she's been thinking hard about Stinky's phone number. Best I've managed to come up with is 54715. I mean, I see where you're going with that. It's sort of saliva, but it's a stretch using Roman numeral 5 SV. I would not be opposed to looking up something to nudge me in the right direction to start with Demolition if you have a chance. Just because, I feel like I've been reasonably thorough about trying my abilities places and using all the characters, and I feel like I got nothing right now.
No good? Well, how about this?
You were in the first batch of people at the Christmas market, stood in line for only 15 minutes and came out half an hour later. Stood in line for an hour at the same place. Got Yule Must, Nuskat, cheesecake, and Glass Bosun Glog. I have no idea what at least two of those are. And I have an educated guess on a third. But I know what cheesecake doth be. What if I became a cake right now?
Ghoulies and imps from a Black Sabbath.
Why did that not help?
Merry moment.
What?
The spirits wish to speak to you.
Oh, do they? And who, pray tell, wants to talk to me?
Okay, I might have accidentally figured it out. I feel like this is something I tried earlier, but it didn't do anything.
Talk to me, Uncle Morty. Talk to me.
Yes, your Uncle Morty. He has something important to say. Mortimer.
You get all that?
Your nephew is waiting.
Okay, hold on. What if I, he might notice me doing this?
I don't think that's gonna work, Max. The rhinoplasty only works on images of inanimate objects.
Yeah, Morty's dead. It doesn't get more inanimate than that.
Yeah, but
Savage.
it wasn't when the picture was taken.
Dang. Now I'll have to find some other way to make this picture talk.
I could do that. Hold on.
Your entrance is cued.
To conquer your stage fright, just picture us nude.
Mortimer Moleman.
Harry!
Uncle Morty?
You sound just like Max, which is what he sounded like always, I
You
guess.
sound weird.
I've got a cold.
In heaven?
Who said I was in heaven?
If it's really you, then tell me the secret you kept from me all these years.
I know what to do.
Let me think about it.
Hold on.
Morty,
Back.
free.
Mind powers. Tell me what the answer is.
Come on. Tell me where you hid your stamp collection.
Okay.
To us, Morty.
Ventriloquism.
Harry!
Uncle
The sound cue suggests we did
My
it.
stamp collection is hidden. Yes.
In the Shrine of the Silver
In
Monkey.
the attic. Yes. Of the Statue of Liberty.
I knew it! It's a miracle! Thank you, Uncle Morty! Thank you, Max!
It appears that Mr. Mullen's leap of
Wi-Fi
faith has allowed the POTUS to make contact with our target, sirs.
I'm glad that they transcribed that.
Thanks for the rescue, boys.
Mama Bosco, what happened to you?
I don't know. I was looking into all these rampaging Sam clones when all of a sudden my spirit started pinballing through all sorts of nightmarish heck dimensions. If your seance
It's a
hadn't
heckin'
anchored
bad
me to
time.
this plane of existence, I might never have found my way home.
Oh dear. It seems that the boundaries between realities are decaying. I'd best alert my superiors.
Hey, I thought I was your superior.
Of course you are, sir.
Definitely.
And I need to tell my girlfriend in Winnipeg.
And I forgot to take my LSATs or something.
Clear a room, Mama B.
Good. Now maybe we can get to the bottom of this mess.
Dual Mist is a cola-like soda. Does it have a particular flavor, or is it just like sort of cola syrup? Loose Scott is a bun served on the 13th of December. And the thing that I can only read as glog, which is probably not the correct pronunciation.
Sure don't leave anything to the
Hot
imagination,
red wine.
do they?
The Bosun brand is the one you like, and red wine can trigger migraines, so limited to a few glasses a year. Well, I'm glad you got a chance to enjoy that to kick off the holiday season, then. At the very least. Okay. So...
Hey, Dr. Mama Bosco, can we ask you a few questions?
Can it wait? I'm very busy trying to figure out where all these Sams came from.
It'll only take a minute.
Fine.
Nico asks, how did tricking the mole man make the seance table work? The implication is that someone buying into the supernatural powers either like tapped into or amplified like a supernatural connection that Mama Bosco was probably already trying to make in returning to this place. Something along those lines. Cola with a bit more medical aftertaste. But cola started as a medical drink too. That's true. It had cocaine, which was good for you. It was a weird fun fact that I read somewhere on the internet that, like, Coca-Cola was invented before refrigeration, and thus is formulated in a way that tastes better at warmer temperatures. Whereas Pepsi was invented after refrigeration and thus is at its best at cold temperatures and perhaps warms worse or something. So what's it? Did you... The clones, they're Bosco Tech?
Max and I were taking a closer look at those underground cloning tanks.
Yes?
And they've got Bosco Tech written all over them.
That's horrible. Someone must have snuck into my lab and stolen all my cloning equipment.
Doubt. Because says those are lies. Warm cola is sad compared to cold cola. I think, though, that there's still a valid distinction that, like, if you were to warm both colas up, which would, of course, be a crime, I genuinely do believe that Coca-Cola would be better. That's more or less the point. What about the Pepsi tweet about boiling your Pepsi before drinking? What? What is the content of this tweet? Pilk? Wait, what's Pilk? I feel like I've heard of Pilk before. Is that Pepsi milk? Who's that for? Pepsi and milk also is a war crime.
Who do you think broke into your lab to steal all your cloning equipment?
Well, whoever wanted an army of Sam clones, obviously.
It could be anyone.
Sam.
What are you doing?
Same as you two. I'm trying to find out who's behind all these clones.
Pepsi was promoting it? Oh, why? What's wrong with Pepsi? Is Pepsi okay? Someone check on Pepsi.
Any word from your son since he headed off for Vegas?
No, but knowing him, he's probably being scammed by some 2-bit gold digger.
I could convince you of that pretty easily.
Got any ideas on how to stop the clones?
No.
Send Obi-Wan Kenobi to some, like, distant planet. Let's give her the letter. I don't know what her reaction this will be, but I presume this is a thing I should
Dr.
do.
Mama, we got some mail from Baby Bosco.
Really? Hold it up for me so I can read it. $20,000? Roscoe Bosco, what sort of hustle have you gotten yourself into?
Want me to leave Bosco's letter somewhere so you can read it again later?
No thanks. I've got enough troubles right now without my son's latest bout of foolishness cluttering up my lab. I better get a body soon, because this itch is driving me crazy.
You know anything about how to do this ritual?
I'm not giving this away.
Alright, well, we did the seance, and I don't know that did a whole lot for us. This stuff is all the same. Our inventory is the same.
If I could whip up an army of anti-clones.
Mama B?
Yes?
There's nothing else to ask her that I haven't already. Oh, no, hold on.
I'm sure Bosco will be okay.
Yeah, a Las Vegas wedding will be just the thing to center his restless spirit.
I wish that were true, but I just know this'll all end in tears.
And lawsuits.
And shirtless raids by the police.
Shared the Pepsi thing in Discord. Oh no. Fresh nightmares for later. Thank you, Ditto. How much Pepsi owns? I'm not about to feel sorry for their mediocre cola. I only feel sorry that they like are inflicting psychological damage on other people trying to get them to drink milk soda. Mint soda was bad enough the time I tried that. I don't recommend that. Coke Zero for the win any day. I'm like a weird skeptic about Coke Zero following, you know, like my discovery of like aspartame in diet sodas. I don't know how much of that is in Coke Zero. I think it's considerably less than diet sodas, but the notion of making a soda 0 calories, I'm like, I'm just gonna keep drinking the regular one that people have been drinking for long enough. It's not good for you, but I know it's fine. But I think it's interesting that we seem to have a consensus that Coke is superior in chat. I don't know if that's universal. What is like even the next thing to do? Let's see what the in-game system says about this. Perhaps they can be used to reach the distant cloning platform. Okay. Let's try something then. So if I get out my gun...
The white zone is for the loading and unloading.
And if I shoot at the lights... Okay.
Why'd you do that?
Sometimes you just gotta shoot out a few lights.
Dead light bulb detected in clone control spotlight. Please alert maintenance engineer.
Henry prefers Dr. Pepper over Coke. I think that's fair. Do you prefer... The question, I guess, is simply Coke or Pepsi. But, yeah, I know, for example, my mom prefers Sprite and not generally a cola. Sometimes a root beer. Best drink of all is water, especially with ice cubes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm definitely a heavy water drinker.
Now, Max, just because the good Lord didn't bless you with 6 arms and vice-like claws.
Not yet, anyway.
Oh man, I saw this like really upsetting like video clip on some social media. I don't know if it was Reddit or Twitter or something. But like it was like someone was like interviewing a couple of women for what like appeared to be like a documentary or something, like maybe a news piece on like obesity, and like there were these two larger women who said, I forget exactly what quantity of soda they drank a day. I think they said like 8 cans of soda or something. But then like following up from that answer, one of them said like, our mom taught us that if you have something sweet, you should wash it down with a soda because that will counteract the sugar. And it was like, oh no. Oh no. Anyway, let me see if I can get...
Hey Max, watch this.
What's her face Stinky over there?
Nice shot.
Thanks. It turns out the secret is aiming.
Aiming. Never heard of it. Is it a lost secret of the ancient Orient?
Malfunction detected
Gattaca.
in the phone control console unit. Please send technician.
We could just like get on that platform while she's walking over to it, yeah? Now do we shoot Stinky? Apparently not. Oh.
That's the most work I've seen Stinky do in years.
Yeah, she must be enthralled.
I didn't really appreciate that a distinction between those visions meant that Sal would be dropped into the abyss. Poor Sal indeed.
Oh, damn it. Stupid Spot.
Can I like... Are any of these toys good for something right now?
I guess it's time to play Follow the Clones.
Okay. Oh wait, her cell phone. That's why I did this.
You? But how?
Blame your cell phone provider.
It doesn't matter. Before the sunrise, the Master will bathe in a sea of your entrails.
I don't have that many entrails.
Mesmerized slave, but she sure does sound a lot like Stinky.
That's not her dad, it's a cell phone. It's true. I guess that's why she gave up on that line of questioning.
Hey, a microphone. I bet we can order around the clones with this.
And welcome to the quiet storm of WSNM, bringing all the smooth sounds of yesteryear to
I'll
all
have
the
to look up if
rumbling
that's a real radio
doggledangers.
station.
Phone control lockouts in place. Voice control unavailable.
Fools. The clone controls will only respond to the Master's voice.
Hand-shaped device.
I don't think our hands or any other part of us are going to
That is too many fingers.
Trying to read my slave's mind? How rude. Ow!
That's when he says, I'm a cola-holic because of my ADHD. Caffeine's the only stimulant I can get without the doctor, but the amount needed made me fat, and now I shifted to strong coffee with milk. Man, everything makes you fat. Did you know bread makes you fat? That just doesn't seem fair at all.
Hi, my name is Stinky. Animals love me. Please kill my grandpa.
Harsh, but accurate.
It's the Master of a person who would sing happy birthday after being teleported to them. No, I think the villains of Season 3 are a lot less good than the villains of Season 2. I mean, I already sort of got a sense of the microphone. Okay. It's just a sponge in her hand, I think. And I still have the cake, which isn't super helpful. Shoot her.
If we shoot Stinky now, we'll never find out who's controlling her, or why she and Sal were trying to kill Grandpa Stinky.
Oh well, c'est la vie.
Plus, it would be wrong.
Darn.
Hang on, have we considered that that may not necessarily be true? Oh, never mind.
Yes, Master. All is in readiness.
Controls?
I don't
Controls
know
are
what
separate
that
from the
is, but
microphone?
It must be important.
Is there anything unique about this animation that gives me any clues about anything? I wish Sal had a cell phone. Then we could find out what happened to him. Which feels very similar to what happens to... what's his name? Matthew in Until Dawn? Isn't he the one who, like, gets caught underground and, like, disappears for a long time?
Cloning facility status.
Malfunction detected in clone control console unit. Please send technician.
Does that bring Sal back?
Stand back, Max.
So many sparks.
0001. Maintenance requested.
No, that'd be a waste of bullets.
Yes, Master. All is in readiness.
No, that'd be...
Yeah, there's a... Oh. If I could get this letter with Bosco's DNA into that thing, I could make an army of Bosco clones. Which isn't something that anyone wants, but it might solve a puzzle. The clone cougar.
I don't think we'll be doing any cloning until we get rid of those tentacles.
Okay. So...
It's a page from an illuminated... Let's see. Flash of light, blah, blah, blah. Giggling realm of skittering ingestion. Giggling and beset by visions of insects. Destroyer defeats things from the dark dimension. Later eaten by a beast.
I just legitimately have no idea what context I would use that in. Can I go to the diner? I couldn't teleport there for some reason.
Well, that was pointless.
I guess Stinky must have locked the door behind her.
Oh, okay. That's at least an explanation. Doesn't really explain why the teleportation doesn't work, though. Maybe I can clone a new Sal. I'm not convinced that Sal's dead. He's like a big cockroach. They're very resilient. Okay, the hint is giggling. Tell a joke that'll make her laugh. Who? Stinky? Mama Bosco? Like, it's just, there's things like, you know, in Chants of Sinar, you know, you like read like the story of the foolish bard who goes looking for the next floor or whatever. And you have like context. You're like, oh, okay, if I'm looking for the next floor, I use this information. Here it's just sort of like, yeah, a flash of light and then giggling and then visions of insects, yada yada yada. Eaten by a beast. What do I do with that?
10,000 clones remaining before your 10,000 clone tune-up.
I'm gonna consult the notebook again. Resource the menacing doppelgangers. Who's the clone master? How can they be stopped? Cleverly taking advantage of Stinky's cell phone. Max and I have finagled our way up to the clone platform. That doesn't give me any sense of what to do next, nor do I feel like the game has done that intrinsically, but I guess I'll keep poking around it. There's clearly someone in the background occasionally. Triangle. input. What about the cucumber that's been cut lengthwise? She'll never recover.
Returned for another steaming serving of failure.
That's also a thing that is frequently said on my dates. Talk to her. Just talk to her.
Stinky?
The master no longer wishes to speak to you through this vessel, hound beast.
I think I like normal Stinky's insults better.
Cloning tanks operating at 98.9% efficiency. Good for you.
Good for you. Proud of you.
Hi, my name is Stinky. Animals love me. Please kill my grandpa.
Harsh, but accurate.
So if I use future vision on her, she's unconscious. If I use it on Sam, we see him talking into the microphone. Rhinoplasty is still cake, isn't it? Doesn't seem useful, but I could try it. I guess I could, like, pull the knife out of the cake and attack her with it. I don't think that's what we're doing, though.
Hey, little buddy.
That's sizest, Sam.
I wonder who's behind these simulacrums.
Doggledangers.
Mama Bosco says she doesn't know anything about the clones, but I don't believe her.
If only we had some way to know what she's thinking.
Oh, you know what? That's fair. I mean, in fairness to me,
That's not...
she's a ghost. I don't know if that's how ghost minds work, but yeah. I guess we could sort of use her own thoughts to force her to tell the truth, which wouldn't necessarily work, especially in 2024, where reality and truth are subjective, and it's super cool to be here all the time. I need the top one. Wub 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 wub. Wub wub wub.
If anyone ever finds out I was hired to build those clone tanks, I'm done for.
Okay. Next question. Who hired you?
Mama B?
Yes?
Give it up, Mama Bosco. We know someone paid you to build those cloning tanks.
Who was it? Stinky? Paperweight? Professor Plum?
I don't know. All I know is, a few months ago, an anonymous donor wired me $1 bajillion in exchange for a few hundred of my experimental cloning tanks. I knew it was shady, but times are tough for a single dead mother with a money-hemorrhaging research lab.
That's quite the sentence.
I quit the gig and looked the other way.
Another victory for unregulated capitalism.
This anonymous donor, anything you can tell us about him?
Turn-offs, turn-ons, the last 4 digits of his social security number?
We only spoke over the phone. He had a creepy, high-pitched voice.
Sam, you don't think it could be the soda?
Don't even think it, little buddy.
Wait, give me the phone number.
Anything else you can remember about the mastermind who bought all those clone tanks?
Aside from the squeaky voice, no. Oh, and he paid me in cash. Really old cash.
Now that we've established that the clones came out of your machines, is there any way we can shut them down?
Well, there should be a biometric override built into all of my clone control centers. But...
Oh, I hate the sound of your butts.
But my handprint is the only one that can activate the override.
But without a body, you don't have handprints.
Why would
Or the right
build
to
you?
vote.
And also, why would you build it that way?
About that override. If we could clone a body for you, could you activate the biometric control?
That's...
bug-loving insane?
absolutely brilliant. Of course, it'll have to be a perfect clone with 100% of my DNA.
No problem. Got any lying around?
Only this. As far as I know, this is the only remaining sample of my DNA in the world. And even this is only 99% complete. You'll either have to find some more or get some DNA from one of my family members so I can do a splice job.
No problem. Consider yourself...
That's easy enough, but I don't think I can show you doing a splice job on Twitch. I think that's against terms of service.
Say, would some of your son's DNA work to fill in the gaps in your DNA sample?
Sure. Good luck finding any, though.
No, but I have it.
So all we have to do is plunk your DNA sample into your clone cooker, and bingo bango, brand new Dr. Mama Bosco body, right?
No. First, you have to find some more Bosco DNA to fill in the gaps in the sample.
I have that ridiculous game. Maybe I'd show it to her again?
Hey, this letter's practically swimming in Bosco's saliva. Could it be used to fill out your missing DNA?
That might work. Yeah, sure, give it a shot. I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
I love it when scientists say that.
Neko points out an annoying squeaky voice does not narrow it down in this game. For one thing, that includes every single mole person. And maybe not every single one, but I think it's a valid point. I think... I don't know if it's supposed to seem obvious by now, but, like... The really old money thing seems like it would be... paperweight, but I don't think it's supposed to be him. I guess arguably it could be... Is it the vampire? He's got kind of a high-pitched voice and has been alive for a long time. Santa's also been alive for a long time, but I wouldn't say he's got a high-pitched voice.
I better get a body soon, because this itch is driving me crazy.
It's weird that she had that idle dialogue before we discussed giving her a body. So I guess I should just put those DNA together once I figure out how to get the Cthulhu destroyer so that I can, like, clear the tentacles. But, like, that's kind of what I was already trying to do.
Now, where'd I leave that Heisenberg compensator?
I don't know why the CPU's running so hard. Talk to Max again.
Max!
Coworker!
I wonder who's behind these simulacrums.
Doggledangers.
Paperweight's acting awfully guilty.
Yeah, but he's just a stooge for that pushy Dr. Norrington.
I'm kind of surprised we haven't run into the devil yet, since it's his toy box that keeps getting us into trouble.
Reasonable point.
Holding out for more money.
God, that seems like that's probably literal. Like they wanted to get the voice actor who played the devil, and they like couldn't get it on the budget they want. It feels like they really like cut the voice acting budget for this one or something. Like it would explain why so many of the characters ended up getting recast. Well, not recast. I mean, in some cases we replaced Jimmy the Rat with, or Jimmy Two Teeth with Frankie the Rat. And like added more mole people. I don't know.
I'm feeling a little lost.
I think we should clone Mama Bosco so we can take control of the clones.
Yeah, but I can't do that without solving this other extremely esoteric puzzle that you haven't really given me very much context for.
In the event of a firestorm, the clone chamber's salad bar will remain open.
I don't think we'll be doing any...
Can I? I don't think I can. Can I, like, future vision the tentacles to get some clue as to, like, how to deal with... No?
It's a box of useless junk.
Or is it?
No, it's pretty much useless.
Why even put it in the game, then?
Let's see. Flash of light, blah, blah, blah. Giggling realm of skittering ingestion. Giggling and beset by visions of insects. Destroyer defeats things from the dark dimension. Later eaten by a beast.
When the darkness strikes, you're...
To find the toy, and I have no clue how to find it. Yeah, I don't, Like I understand that this item in my inventory is meant to be a blueprint to do something, but like it's not like they said, you know, they did it as a seance or they used a tuning fork to start the ritual or something. Is it in Stinky's restaurant? The game seems to no longer want me to go to Stinky's restaurant, so I feel like that's a pretty hard no.
So, Doc, I've got a few more questions.
Of course you do.
I really don't, though.
Can the destroyer be used against those tentacles?
The destroyer is proof against anything from the dark dimension. Me, the tentacles, the toy box.
Sam, we gotta get one of these things.
You'll have to find the hidden giggling realm of skittering ingestion if you wish to find the destroyer.
Toys?
So supposedly the tunnel entrance back to the restaurant was closed, and when I tried teleporting there earlier, it wouldn't let me go. Has that somehow changed? No. Is there something in this alley? I haven't been here in a minute. It feels like no. It feels like there's nothing to do in the alley where Sal was. Perhaps the alley of the dolls? Wait a minute. No, I can't become a car again because that would also require me to go to the restaurant.
Corpulent dogmen swarm city.
Corpulent? The nerve!
I know.
Joey would have allowed them to use a larger typeface and been alliterative to boot.
Can we go through the street? No, there's no street access in this game. You start in Stinky's Diner, you gain access to the tunnel, that leads you to the place with the cloning chamber, which in turn connects to Mama Bosco's lab and the office we were just at. And like the only other place we've been able to go is this alley, which we got through a phone number in a resignation letter given to us by Paperweight at his office. What are we looking for? That's a good question. I mean, strictly speaking, a clue. I mean, it seems like the literal only thing to do is to, like, figure out what to do with the manuscript page, but I just don't feel like the game has really given me context for that at all. Mama Bosco be able to open a rift to the giggling dimension thing with the weapon you're after? Nope, because the giggling dimension is how I get the weapon that I am after. That would be a effect to get cause. I would no longer need to get to the giggling dimension if I had the weapon I was after. I mean, I think I already tried showing her the manuscript page and that didn't... He just gave the same generic line that he says, trying to click it on anyone, which is like, I'm not giving it away, it's super important. Which, like, isn't usually what I'm trying to do.
Hey, you stupid toys!
Toys. No, I want the weapon, and the weapon comes from the dimension. It's not the means of accessing the dimension. Like, the purpose of getting to the dimension is so I can have the weapon. If I could have the weapon without going to the dimension, I wouldn't need the dimension. If that makes sense. I mean, I could go try to read Mama Bosco's mind again. I don't know that that does anything. I would not say that this episode is as bad as episodes 1 or 2 from this season, but I feel like it's incredibly weak at like a causal chain that like gets you to progress in a reasonable fashion.
Hey, Dr. Mama, could this dimensional destabilizer be used to, say, visit a spooky suburb of the dark dimension to get a horrifyingly powerful weapon?
I suppose. Want to give it a whirl?
Sure.
Now, I haven't had a chance to calibrate the navigational controls, so you'll have to figure him out for yourself.
Don't we always?
I mean, before, didn't this destabilizer, it was like a thing that like threatened to destroy the world, and only with the additional resource of a specific item generated at the end of the first episode of this season could be used to make a new dimension? I don't think it was ever billed as like a Stargate. I mean, how am I supposed to know what any of these things
Wish me luck,
do?
Max. I'm off to explore the nether realms.
You should probably rephrase that. Ooh, science-y. Ow! Turn down the volume. Sam?
Badgers? Badgers?
That's a weird one.
Whoa! Holy wheezing bellows of Krakatoa. What a ride.
You okay?
Yeah, but only because I've sealed away most of what I saw into a deep corner of my subconscious.
Just like that time you caught me singing in the shower.
Let's see. Flash of light, blah, blah, blah. Giggling realm of skittering ingestion. Giggling.
I mean, we
and
got the
descent by
giggling.
visions of insects.
Badgers instead of
Destroyer defeats
insects.
things from the dark dimension. Leader eaten by a beast.
So 2 is correct, 3 is wrong. The flash of light, I think we're meant to interpret that we got thunder instead of light. Maybe. And then when we read his mind, he got eaten by a big Max. Do we consider that a beast? Let's try setting that different too.
Let's try this again.
Okay, that's like gas. The laughing is still intact, so that's good.
Bugs, roaches, they're under my skin. Get them off!
Okay, that's positive.
Come, bitter conduct. Come, unsavory guide. Thou desperate pilot, now at once run on the dashing rocks thy seasick, weary bark. Here's to my love. O true apothecary, thy drugs are quick, thus with a kiss I die.
Hey, guess what? I'm not really dead. Ooh, awkward.
Awkward.
And if we ever want to...
So let's change this. I'm gonna change this back to 1, and I think we're good. I think when he reappears, it will be light, and we've got the giggling, and we got the insects.
Sam? Ah, great. Sam's been driven insane by an unspeakable horror. Now I've got a Craigslist for a new partner.
No, little buddy, really, I'm fine. I just got that medium extra small joke from earlier. Boy, that Super Ball, he's a hoot and a half. Oh yeah, and check out this key knick-knack I picked up from the giggling realm of skittering
It's a
ingestion.
Troy.
Is that the dark dimensional destroyer that Norrington was yammering about?
Only one way to find out. Let's blast the bejeebus out of something from the dark dimension.
Put it in your brain. This is a much better toy for the missing slot than the shrinking can. That's not a good cereal prize. Nope.
Hey, tentacles! Unholy this!
I am the Sonic Tower robot. Please give my destruction to everybody.
Please give my destruction to
I heard
everybody.
it in a video game.
DNA sample received. Processing. DNA sample insufficient to commence cloning process. Please insert complementary DNA sample to continue.
Now, it is worth noting that I have destroyed the cloning bay with a gun.
Complementary DNA sample received. Exemplar clone being prepared in pod 0001.
Come on, come on!
Patience, Max. The human genome is an insanely complicated strand of proteins containing nearly a gigabyte of raw data. Even the most sophisticated...
It's just one big strand of protein. If you tug hard enough, human comes undone. Let's not talk about the fact that I shot all this technology with guns.
You did it!
Yeah.
Clear
Yeah.
a path, boys. Mama Bosco's about to make a long overdue return
I
to
have
the
a feeling
land
that
of the
this
living.
will be upsetting. What do you think?
All right, fellas, open her up. Well, what do you think?
Considering how much of your son's DNA is in there, I'd say you got off easy.
Yeah, you could have ended up with a beard, or a beer gut, or a head full of wacky conspiracy theories.
I did expect worse.
So, Mama B.
Can't talk now, guys. I'm trying to figure out a way to get up to the control center. It's the only way we'll be able to stop the clones.
Didn't really expected that to be the hard part. Alright, let's go over there, and then I think if we come back, the platform will be there such that she can come with us. I think that's the thing. Only difference is that she's bald. Seems that way.
Hey, Mama B. Want to be disassembled at the quantum level, then reassembled about...
Oh,
40
yeah, I guess
meters
we could
to
just
the
bring her
left?
with us by touching her.
You know it, baby.
Even though she just got this body bag. Quantum disassembly required.
Ah, I see you've brought the Master's unwitting scientific dupe to bear witness to the magnificent horrors her inventions have wrought. Gaze deeply into the abyss you've created, Doctor.
Well, how?
What's her problem?
We're pretty sure she's enthralled, but with Stinky it's hard to tell. Mama Bosco, would you mind activating your override so we can take control of these clones?
My pleasure.
How did she get spawned with, like, clothes on? And doesn't she need to take that glove off? No, I guess not. For some reason, that's not adequately explained. Interesting how much of her DNA was addressed. Yeah! Kind of got there at about the same time, Ditto, yeah.
Never defeat the Master.
Sam, we've got company.
You see? Your cause is lost. The Master will take your toys and...
Sorry, I haven't been able to cold cock anyone for a long time, and she was really getting on my nerves.
After the mind-numbing terror is over, you gotta teach me that move.
And me. But first, let's deal with these clones. Go to the Master.
That didn't work, Sam!
Weird. Maybe I have to use the Master's real name, whatever that is.
Go.
Oh, nope. Was trying to hit a different dialogue option and it flipped back around.
That didn't work, Sam!
Weird. Go to the toy box.
That seems to have gotten their attention.
I guess it's time to play Follow the Clones.
You guys go on ahead and give that master a knee to the groin for me. Getting dog hair all up in my cloning tanks.
I think that would just sort of advance the plot. I probably should have hit question marks.
Once this case is over, we should really look into fixing the DeSoto.
We don't know that it's broken yet, do we?
Hey, look,
We just know
Sam,
someone's taking it for a
doggledangers
joyride.
are heading into that warehouse, and my ears are doing that weird sparky thing.
The toy box must be in there. We'd better sneak in and grab it before the Master's plan comes to fruition.
You know, I can't remember the last time one of my plans came to fruition.
It's cute when you pretend you know what words mean, Max.
Like I said, when did all the Sams get underwear? Didn't they have boxers
Sam?
before? No, they've always had these weird gold underpants. Even at the end of the last chapter, I very distinctly remember it. Because it reminded me of what Rocky wears in Rocky Horror Picture Show. Do I have to, like, get naked before going in there?
Toys.
Toys.
Toys? Shoot or run?
Let's run. Toys.
Would they be less concerned about Max if he were a cake?
Toys.
No. Okay, no, here's a stupid, obvious thought. If we go back and tell them to go some other place, can we then just come here because they're not here? Is that the idea that we're going for?
We're sorry. We're sorry.
No, that's not what we're doing. Just want to be clear, you don't need to be conscious for your phone to function, but that's okay.
Stand back, Sam. I'll send those dogglegangers right into the harbor.
I don't think so.
What's happening?
Hello, folks.
Oh no. I think I suddenly remembered
my guess. The
something
mysterious
relevant.
Master is none other than your little dark dimensional puppet.
I knew it was evil.
Well, thankfully, like all evil dummies, Charlie's pretty much helpless without a host body.
Am I, Sam?
Am I? Samar, Caesarum!
Kill it with fire, Max.
On it! Darn.
Really not how I saw that going. Really weird way to progress the chapter also. I get how they expect you to try to do the thing you did before. It doesn't actually feel to me like it's an obvious thing to do.
The cord.
Yeah, I feel like,
Oh, Sam. Oh, I just had the most ridiculous dream.
there's actually kind of a
Stinky was
weird
making
physical
out with a
similarity
giant
between
cockroach.
the narrator
Then
and
an
Charlie
evil
Hotep,
ventriloquist
huh?
dummy knocked us out and...
No, we did have a future vision of Sam dancing out of
Hello, boys and girls.
the office.
Welcome to the Charlie Hotep Show.
Oh, that's way more naked Sam flesh than I'm comfortable with.
We got a great show for you tonight, ladies and germs. For our first act, our lovely and talented army of dogglegangers will sing and dance their way into your souls with their dimension-shattering rendition of that oldie but goodie, Skin. And for our second act, well, there won't really be a second act for most of you, since you'll be too busy screaming and gouging your eyes out after your pathetic reality is subsumed by the glories of the dark dimension. But you won't want to miss our spectacular finale when the great and terrible Junior makes his long-awaited return, lovingly slips me onto one of his tentacles of anguish and plays with me!
Not if my as-yet unexplained psychic powers have anything to... Hey! Where'd my toys go?
Looking for these? Let's have a big Dark Dimension round of applause for Sammun-Mak, without whom tonight's apocalyptic conjuring wouldn't be possible.
I feel so violated.
And now, on with the show!
Hang on, Sam! I'm coming to get you!
Why would you try that?
Hang on, Sam! I'm coming to get you! Try not to end the world or anything!
Oh wow, I'm actually walking around as Max. Does that happen in this series? You know, the allusion to this being sort of a musical number with the dancing or whatever, raises the question. I think we've fully abandoned the musical numbers at this point, which, like, for a while were, like, an ongoing thing in Sammun-Mak. I know that Neko was a really big fan of the one that introduces the characters of the cops. How does Chad feel about the lack of full-blown musical numbers in Season 3? So I don't have an inventory as Max, which is interesting. Oh, that's magnificently stupid. That's still not close enough to the torch. Have to get, like, really far over? I don't know how nuanced it's reading this. No, that doesn't seem to be helping.
Lady Liberty, America's nightlight. July IVMDCCX. What is this, Canadian? Yeah, she's pretty, but I have a standing rule against dating anyone who can use me to dig boogers out of their nose.
Stupid.
I wonder how Charlie Hotep got that piano all the way up there.
That's not important, Max. Just
oh, crap.
Get up here before Charlie completes his infernal medley.
Come on, Sam! Stop screwing around and start kicking some sawdust!
Your dopey friend can't talk right now, Bunny. He's too busy playing Straight Man to Armageddon. Isn't that right, Binky?
Yes, Master.
Hey, young Soggy! What are you doing here?
That's not important right now. Just get up here and rescue me so we can stop Charlie Hotep.
Ha! You got it! What a tight ass. Wait, does he even have an ass?
Squid joke?
Is that gross glob of goo looking at me?
That gross glob of goo is an infinitesimal extrusion of none other than Junior. If Charlie succeeds in smashing the dark dimension into your reality, my grandson will shatter your bodies and eat your souls. Or maybe he'll eat your bodies and shatter your souls. I always get those mixed up.
It does feel like the launching is part of this, and yet when I'm launching, I don't think I have control to do anything?
Hey,
that's not important.
Okay, so I can't really, like, talk to him. What can I do as Sam?
What's that? You say you can't move? Of course you can't, you big dummy. You're my slave, my pawn, my... Oh, what's the word? Puppet!
Very ironic.
Oh, ain't that sweet? You're still struggling. Oh, ain't that sweet? Oh, ain't... What's this? My enthralled man puppy has something to say? What do you say, boys and girls? Do you want to see my amazing talking to a stupid mutt while playing the piano and ushering in the end of the world trick?
Feels very niche to me, personally.
Alrighty then. So, buddy, what's on your mind?
Not that I'm not flattered, but why did you go through all the trouble to make an army of half-naked Sam clones?
A spell of this magnitude requires the sacrifice of 1,001 thralls to complete the complex and arcane chants to tear down the walls between this world and the dark dimension.
Yeah, but why me?
Because you are the ideal straight man. Only you have the perfectly malleable brain that allows me to command you where to go and what to do without fear of being challenged by a stray independent thought. It's almost as though you were born to be ordered around.
He's got you there, Sam.
I actually don't think, like, there are ways that you can, like, craft the character in a story where, like, that's, like, the thing. I genuinely don't think that applies to Sam. Game joke? Yeah, I guess that's what they're going for, but, like, I thought what they were going for was sort of, like, Max calls the shots or whatever, but, like, I just, like, we've already, like, fought off, like, hypnosis and things like that in the past. Like, I just don't think you can make a compelling argument that, like, that's, like, Sam's flaw or whatever.
Wow, a crazy evil ventriloquist dummy. Way to perpetuate the stereotype, Charlie.
I'm not crazy, or evil, or illiterate.
I didn't say...
I'm lonely.
Is that what this is all about? Because Max and I can fix you up with a nice girl who runs a diner.
I don't need a woman. I need Junior.
Nico adds, considering we had a chapter just yesterday where Sam went on a rampage angrily beating everyone up to find Max, he doesn't seem like a pushover who lacks independent thoughts. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Why'd you tie up
poor paperweight / Norrington / Yog Sagoth up here?
The grumpy old fool thought he could destroy me along with all the other toys of power. Now he'll bear witness to my ultimate triumph as I sacrifice him to his own grandson.
And I thought my family reunions were awkward. I think you and Norrington should have a nice little sit-down.
Never! I swear, ere this night doth wane, Yog Sagoth will drink the black splinters of my vengeance!
Okay, harsh, weird, harsh, weird.
What in the name of Kubrick's beard groomer is that unholy abomination?
That's Junior, youngest of the Elder Gods. When the walls tumble, he'll reign supreme over the darkness, and I'll be his favorite toy again, just like it was in the before time.
Ha! Junior hated you, Charlie. He used to call you Creepy Charlie.
You want creepy? I'll give you creepy, old man!
I am the sonic-powered robot. Please give my instruction to everybody.
Ah, that was fun. And now, back to tonight's featured entertainment.
Nicely done, Sam. If you want to change the music again, just gesture in the general direction of the piano, and I'll do the rest.
Got rid of the tentacles. I don't know if that did anything.
Since the world's about to end, could you tell me what's going on with Sal and Stinky? You enthralled them before we could break out the rubber hoses.
The fishwoman and the insect man were mere pawns. Their petty criminal dalliance is a pathetic warm-up back to my grand guignol!
In other words...
Not a clue.
You sure you don't know anything about Stinky and Sal's plans for Grandpa Stinky?
Hey, I just enthralled them to assemble and maintain my cloning chamber. I didn't get involved in their icky personal life.
So how long you been working on this scheme anyway?
None of your beeswax, Fido.
Why's the toy box all glowy?
Now that my magnificent dogglegangers have gathered all the toys of
Oh crap,
power,
you made it
the
canon.
toy box is suffused with the terrible energies of the dark dimension.
Good for you.
When my spell is complete, I'll use the power of the toy box to tear down the walls between your realm and mine, dragging both realities into an eternity of torment and despair.
Okay, but how will that be different from any other ventriloquist act?
Hey-o!
makes the toy box so powerful anyway?
It was hewn from the bark of screaming mendacity on the shores of the river Pyx in the Dark Dimension.
Oh, I see.
That answers all my questions.
Are you really Junior's favorite toy?
You betcha! He and I used to have so much fun drinking from the skulls of the suffering while I sang the dirge of madness.
You pathetic fool! Junior never played with you. He hated you.
Shut up, shut up, shut up!
Take 2 tablets for the mind plague. No, wait, Tabula Charlie.
Boy, oh boy, I needed that!
Does that, like, blank his mind or something? Does that give enough climbing ability that I can send Max up there now? Because it's kind of like laddery. Thought it was sending me to different sides. Now it just seems like it's sending me to the same spot.
Why so gloomy?
You pathetic fool! Junior never played with you. He hated you.
Shut up, shut up, shut up! Had enough, old man?
That's probably not what I want.
Had enough, old man? Had enough, old...
I think I want the tablet to be different. I don't know if I want the face to be different. Wait. Oh, I kind of thought it was like a... Okay. I kind of thought it was a graphical error that the saves were like disappearing from certain things.
Ow.
Alright, so which one of those made the other saves disappear so that I could climb up to the tablet then, I
My name
guess?
is Charlie, and I want to be you.
Junior.
I think this is what I want.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Aha! Take that, elder dorks! You think you're winning? Every time you change the music, you bring your world one step closer to annihilation!
Oh no, it's the Xena problem.
Ribs. Juicy, demonic ribs. You know, Lady Liberty's crown would make a great set of pointy knuckles in a fist fight between her and the Lincoln Memorial.
Focus, Max.
Right.
How do I expect him to get up
Who
there?
loves
I mean,
you, Junior?
need the crown to change.
Had enough, old?
Oh, I didn't realize it was swinging that low. Okay.
Max, free me and we'll...
Yeah. First I gotta shoot a dummy with a robot.
Max, don't!
Hey!
Get back into the toy box where you belong, Charlie. You'll never be Junior's favorite.
Looks like the crowd's had just about enough of your guff pops. What do you say, everyone?
This also happens on a lot of my dates.
I am the sonic-powered robot. Please give my instruction to everybody.
Please give my instruction to everybody.
Let's all give a big hand for Yoxagon's death scene, everyone! Well, it looks like
I'm not sure I'm gonna miss that guy.
So if you'll excuse me, I'll just ascend into the firmament and get ready to meet the end of the world!
This went well.
That didn't go well.
What are we gonna do now, Sam? Without my cool psychic toys, I'm as useless as a sprinkler in a squid farm.
Useless? I think not.
Dr. Norrington?
Max, listen. The power is within you.
Sam? What's happening?
I think Norrington's just unlocked your total psychic potential.
Cool.
Either that or your head's about to explode. Either
Could be
way, you
both.
should probably aim for the dummy.
Will do.
Godspeed, John Glenn.
All right, Cedar Face. Let's finish this thing. Braino El Braino.
Yippee! A fight!
The wheel says, toy broken, powers unavailable.
Okay, what's the point of having totally unlocked psychic potential if none of the things work? No, only the one that's useful doesn't work. Okay, well that's something. That's promising. That's a good vision of the future. That's good. Interesting that we call this a fight. I just float up here and accomplish nothing immediately. Neko suggests if a whole crowd chants at me at my dates, I must be popular. To be clear, they're chanting that I should die. That's the joke.
Trying to read my mind? That's a no-no. Ow!
Tongues of flame, Kira Snar.
Ooh, hold on. I can sort of use that.
Now you will be able to pluck images from the minds around you. Use them to defeat Charlie Hotep.
No problemo.
Let's look up. There's the thing. Become fire, I guess.
Fire, Scarecrow.
Eh, well done. Maybe they were chanting to a German. The.
Oh, I know.
I've heard that sometimes happens.
What a maroon.
I was saying Boo Earns. Okay, is there anyone else I can, like, reach? Can I get Norrington? No, there's not a lot of minds around here that aren't, actively sacrificing themselves endlessly to an eldritch horror. What else I got? I don't think... Why is this an option?
Come to...
We're sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry.
Just tell me the toy doesn't work then. What's in Sam's mind? He thought of fire and then I got watered on. What can I do as Sam?
If I leave now, I'll miss all the fireworks when Max kicks Charlie's splintered butt.
If this film was anything else, this might have been cool. It's a strong choice for sure. Oh,
great. Now I'm gonna have that song stuck in my head all night.
Oh. Is that how this works?
Dar, Charlie Hotep. Dar, Charlie Hotep.
Actually, do they stay at the same time, or is this just picking one or the other? They do stay. Okay, in that case, let's do all the music.
Ignaris Dali mind bled crevici actiforn.
Down came the rain and washed that thing out. So Flaming Crown I must have done. So probably Face of Darkness, the last one? I'm just getting all the pictures up here so I can figure this out without having to switch back and forth between ideas. Nope, that's not... I need this first. Yeah, okay. I think this is correct.
Eternal darkness, eternal darkness.
Of the Spotless Mind? Or the game for the GameCube? Okay, so now I can become these things. What does it mean to become my enemy? Is this a Sun Tzu thing?
Ha! Do you think you can beat yourself? Wait. Let me rephrase that.
What a poltroon. You think I wouldn't have planned for that? Form of the Destroyer.
I am the chronic powered robot. Please fight me.
Ouch.
It feels like that was a clue or something? Transform into Mind Plague. Is fear the Mind Plague?
Let's see how you like a taste of eternal darkness, termite brain. Whoa, that's
It's a lot of darkness.
That's pretty black.
Hey, that's a neat trick. Let me show you mine. I call it, I'd rather light a candle and curse the darkness. Nigeras Bonfa!
I assume that's a reference to something. So it doesn't feel like I have... I would expect this to sort of be like, I trap him in a form I can counteract, but it seems like he always counters the thing that I do.
Come on, you little glowing punk. Take your best shot.
Now, let's see what the last one does, and maybe that'll spark an idea. The heck? Nah, that spawned negative idea. I don't really follow. Okay, what can I like interact with these images in another way? Can I? Why would I have the power of ventriloquism?
yours.
Why don't we throw the Junior voice in there, and he'll throw himself into the toy box.
Charlie, it's me, Junior.
How do we know what Junior sounds like?
Nice try, Max, but the horrors of Junior are far too vast to contain in that puny dark dimensional toy box.
Okay, I have a stupid idea that I can't fully wrap my head around, but we're gonna give it a shot.
Again? Didn't you learn your lesson the last time?
Ow. It's a good thing that I was only impersonating something from the dark dimension, or I'd be toast right now.
So if I ventriloquism him in the form of the destroyer, does that somehow... Oh no, I'm close.
I am completely in...
He's the destroyer. If I put Norrington's voice in the box, he'll try to shoot at it and blow it up, which will be bad. But like the kind of bad that I want.
Junior despised you, Charlie.
I am the sonic-powered robot. Please.
Can't we shoot him with robot toy? No, it's in our inventory, but the game just says it doesn't work, which is really lazy.
Ah, donkey ears.
Close your eyes, Max.
Why? This is really cool.
Hey, you're right.
Junior! Don't put me back in the box! I love you!
I don't think you're going back in the box,
Jeez,
buddy.
Charlie, have a little dignity.
Why won't you play with me?
This seems cool and normal. There's an awful lot of Sam around, though.
Good job, Max. Max?
Just a minute, Sam.
Max! Little buddy?
What? I thought we were doing a thing here.
Max, you're alive.
Yep, that icky demon seed must have broken my fall.
What ridiculous luck.
Says you. I think I swallowed some
Well played.
dimensional demon yolk. Ugh.
Did it taste like chicken?
No. It was more like, the succulent torments of the damned.
Not funny, Max.
I wasn't trying to be funny. If I was, I'd say something like, how do you keep an idiot in... Oh, I don't feel so good, Sam.
Hang on, little buddy. I'll go get you some soda crackers and lukewarm pork.
I'm not sure that's...
So cool!
Dr. Norrington, you gotta help me with Max.
I think he's a little... Okay.
Holy H.P. Lovecraft spinning through the 13 abyssal planes on a propane grill.
It's not entirely clear to me why that happened, but yeah. I guess he absorbed Junior?
Congratulations, my friends. Thanks to your valiant efforts, Sam and Max
Congratulations!
eliminated the scourge of the Devil's Toy Box once and for all. But at what cost?
Well, this is new.
When next we meet, the fate of Sam Max, reality, and perhaps your very sanity will rest in your trembling hands in the concluding chapter of The Devil's Playhouse.
The city that dares not sleep. You like the same with the bunny? I did as well also. Well, that was a weird one, I would say. I mean, we've played worse for sure. Can we use the destroyer on that guy? The destroyer doesn't kind of exist anymore. It's complicated. I'm not sure exactly what was and wasn't a metaphor at the end there. I will, like, it does genuinely bother me a little bit that, like, we go for the trope of, like, the power was within you all along, and then Max gains access to, like, all of the toys except the one that, like, obviously immediately solves this problem, and it's like, why? What's the reason that you haven't given me that explains why that's true? All the toys exist within Max. Well, that's my point, though. It's like during that confrontation, they were like, I don't know, the robot's broken. Just trust me. It's like, but the robot's not literal. It's like Max's power siphoning in a familiar form. Like, it shouldn't require, like, the physical form of the toy or anything. Plus, like, Charlie Hotep, who inexplicably has these mental powers despite himself being a toy, can do that at will? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me either. Like, I kind of like the general idea of this conclusion, but as someone said earlier, like, Charlie Hotep is, like, not a particularly great villain, and, like, his motivation is, like, not that interesting. Like, I get it. I get that he's, like, a cursed Toy Story toy, that all I wanted was to be played with, and it made him evil, and he had powers that aren't really adequately explained, and he used them for evil as a result of not being played with. Like, I get it, but, like, I don't know. I feel like this is, like, a running problem in Season 3, that, like, the villains just, like, aren't super strong. They're, like, very cartoony, and, like, yeah, all the games are cartoony. All of Sammun-Mak is, like, cartoon violence and sarcasm, and... Oh, hang on.
Sal? Sal? Sal?
Oh, she cares about something. What a strange bummer. That's the first post-credit scene we've had, because even though I haven't always switched back to the game, I've always been watching it to make sure that didn't happen. But yeah, like, I don't know, like, Skunk Ape is, like, kind of fine as the throwaway, like, first villain for the first episode, but, like, I didn't find that the story, like, you just don't get, like, a lot of backstory on the characters, and then, like, the plots themselves aren't that rich. Like, I don't know. I just feel myself constantly going back to the well of, like, you can argue that there are certain formulaic things about Season 1 and Season 2, and even collectively Season 1 and Season 2 of Telltale's version of Sammun-Mak, but, like, I feel like they got into a certain rhythm of understanding, like, what to tap into and what not to, where to take shortcuts, where to, like, make a joke instead of explaining something. Like, it just felt like it, for the most part, worked pretty consistently well throughout all, like, 11 of those episodes. And then, like, I don't know, it just feels like the whole concept and execution of Devil's Playhouse is just lacking. It feels like it's different people who, like, never did this before. And maybe that's true on some level. Like, there was a restructuring or people left the company and, like, new people took over, and it just, like, doesn't have the same vision. But, like, I don't know. It just consistently doesn't work for me. I mean, like, yeah, evil ventriloquist doll is, like, a cliche, and calling it out doesn't make it less cliche. And I don't know. It's like, it's also not like, I feel like that has more impact even if, like, the ventriloquism is, like, a toy that we use, like, extremely frequently in the previous chapters. But, like, we didn't have it at all in episode 1, and we, like, only got it, like, partway through episode 2, and then did we have it at all last time? I'm blanking. But like, I don't know, the point just sort of being like, we don't build like an emotional connection with mostly any of these characters. Like Sal's kind of the only exception, which is how like we end up with like a post-credit scene where like a generally unlikable character who's not like terrible has like a touching moment of like, oh, she cares about the character we like. But like, you know, Grandpa Stinky's been one note where we kind of just like keep sabotaging him and having bad stuff happen to him. Which, like, you know, we did that a lot in seasons 1 and 2, and it just, like, wasn't the whole point. It was, like, a means to an end. It just feels like, I don't know, even though these chapters are longer, everything going on feels shallower. And I think part of it is definitely, like, a lack of character development, coupled with the fact that we, like, changed over so many of the characters or whatever. Could literally replace the doll with anything, and it would have been better. I mean, like, the only thing the doll has going for it is, like, there is some connection between the doll and what we've been doing up till now. It's not a very strong connection because, like I said, like you don't use him all the time. You don't have him in your inventory for like the whole thing. It's not like it's inherently a power you like want to use all the time or even necessarily like something that was like solely responsible for saving the day earlier where like maybe you have a connection of like, oh, I really like that power. But, like, I get that they wanted to tap into that, but again, it feels like almost like a lazy shortcut to be like, oh, no, like a thing that, like, mattered to you, like, changed. It's like, it's in, I don't know, the powers are relatively interchangeable. Like, none of them are all that exciting. They largely replace my inventory, which I think is less interesting than having an inventory. It's not that I hate the idea of an adventure game where all of your inventory items are a set of like unique abilities instead of objects whose unique abilities you have to like make sense of. I've played various games that have had, you know, versions of that. And I don't necessarily hate it. I don't think it's frequently done very well, but I think it could be in theory. But I don't know. It's just like there's something about the way that the toys like really restrict gameplay and like the creativity of what's going on that I think does a disservice to these being their own adventure games. Like it's just like I don't think these powers have such like a deep well of different things you could do with them that like the recombination of the abilities over time feels unique or fresh or exciting. Honestly, I feel like there's an artificial difficulty to like trying to figure out the exact weird way they're trying to like use these concepts over and over again. It feels like we're almost forcing one of the more annoying things that happens in adventure games to happen unnecessarily. I mean, I think I agree with you, Anime, in the sense. Anime suggests we replace this villain with a cult leader. I mean, we arguably have like a cult leader archetype character in Paperweight. He's similar, but certainly not the same. But like, I really think it's just it's more than anything, it's an issue of not developing a proper villain. I mean, at the equivalent point in season 1, we like just got like a strong hint that the ultimate villain of season 1 was Hugh Bliss. And like, even though like for laughs, like Sam and Max don't know that until the start of the last chapter of season 1. Like, Hugh Bliss is a character that they had established like significantly. He has like a really distinct way of like talking and emoting and interacting with characters. And Sam and Max instantly have like strong negative reactions to him. And so like you're variously messing with him, and then all of a sudden you learn that he is like way scarier than you thought he was. And like you thought it was funny to mess with him, but like he was just playing along, man. And like in season 2, that like them is just like a fantastically weird concept for a villain. They're not ultimately like the final villain, but like I feel like the conspiracy theory nature of Bosco tied nicely with this vague concept of them as being like this entity that oversees everything and is at the top of all the conspiracy theory chains or whatever. But like also gave an excuse for there to be an only gradually unfolding understanding of like what was going on. Like you were like unfolding a conspiracy until you found like the core of it. And season 1 works in a similar fashion where there's like a chain of mind control events that ultimately have a singular source to them. Devil's Playhouse is so chaotic. And not just in like the Sammun-Mak's chaos way of like weird stuff happening, but like the plots like don't interconnect in meaningful ways. It's like I said at the top of the stream, like I had the realization like today, I think, that like you literally can remove episode 2 from this chapter and lose virtually nothing. I mean, like, yeah, that's where we introduce Charlie Hotep, but like I don't care. Because I don't care about Charlie Hotep as a character. Like, he just doesn't matter. Like, his motivation is so flimsy that, like, as anime keeps suggesting, you could replace it with effectively anything. There's, like, 2 sentences of backstory, and you never have to, like, see him care about it or see the past play out in a meaningful way. It just doesn't matter. It could be anything. It could be a boat. I mean, Max could turn into whatever he wants. The villain could be whatever he wants. I don't know. He had loads of chapters to establish some kind of history with the puppet and didn't. Max even seemed creeped out by the puppet. Didn't even seem creeped out by the puppet until this chapter. So it feels like the devs made a last-minute decision to throw him as a twist villain. It does feel that way. I agree with you. There's something weird about the fact that Max doesn't comment on Charlie Hotep until now. I mean, part of it, I think, is that Max himself doesn't have Charlie Hotep in episode 1. And only the ancestors did in episode 2. And what toys did we have access to in episode 3? We had the phone and rhinoplasty. We didn't have the mind reading. We definitely didn't have the robot. Did we have the ventriloquism? I don't think we did. I'm not immediately thinking of a puzzle that was solved with it. But, like, again, like, even just having him... If that's supposed to be the introduction to, like, why we think he's a villain is, like, Max's reaction to him, it happening, like, 40 minutes of gameplay before he turns evil is not very compelling. Most of episode 2... I mean, like, basically the entirety of episode 2. There's only, like, a little bit of establishing of the flashback at the start of episode 2, and then at the very end... there's the tease into episode 3 where Max's brain has been stolen. Like, outside of that, like, basically the entire thing is a flashback that doesn't really have bearing on anything. I mean, like, the most relevant thing that happens in episode 2 is establishing that Paperweight has a grudge against Sammun-Mak's ancestors because that facilitates the temporary partnership between him and Skunkgate at the start of episode 3. But, like, for all the effort we put into establishing Paperweight in 2, which was basically none, you could just give that the Charlie Hotep treatment of having him say, like, your ancestors did this, Raza Fraza. And then we're just in the same point without doing episode 2, which, like, puzzle-wise, I thought was really frustrating and narratively was worse. Like, narratively, I absolutely loathe it. Like, the fact that they portray it as, like, a sort of choose-your-own-adventure of nonlinear storytelling, but then everything is gated in this really specific way, where you can largely only take one path through it. Like, there's a couple of points where for, like, a span of, like, 20 minutes, you can choose which of 2 things you want to progress. But, like, by then, you basically necessarily know all of the things that you need to do to solve all the puzzles at that point. So it's not a choice, it's a matter of just, like, checking things off your to-do list. I mean, I think story is a real weak point for Sammun-Mak's The Devil's Playhouse. There's plenty of fun ideas. Some of the dialogue is as good as ever. For my money, I don't like the dialogue as much, but I don't think it's, like, wildly worse overall. But just, like, narrative and character-wise, it's so disappointing. And again, I think it really, I think it lets down fans of the previous seasons to just like write off so much of the cast, especially after going so far out of their way to establish that this was like the thing we were doing, that we like made this like lived in little world where no matter what the scope of things was, we're still dealing with the same like dozen characters. Like, where's Mr. Featherly or whatever, you know? There's like so many like interesting characters that existed that like didn't necessarily show up in every single episode of season 2, but like contributed to this feeling that like all the people we know mattered. And if you liked the characters or if you disliked the characters, you still had a strong connection to what happened to them one way or the other. But like now we just like reinvent the wheel and then like try to make you care about these villains that you have like one sentence of backstory for that happened off screen. It's like they got the dressing right, but not the actual meal. Yeah, it's something like that. It's, you know what it is? It's that like anime meme of like the food that looks really good tastes terrible and the food that looks awful tastes good. Because, like, you know, the first Sammun-Mak season is, like, rough around the edges for various reasons. Like, time crunch. No one had done, like, an episodic release like that before. It was a small studio with a limited budget doing something basically unprecedented. And, like, I think in the end it comes out, like, way overperforming what it probably should have managed to do. Meanwhile, now when they presumably have more money and certainly more experience and probably a leg up on the technology of not having to like invent an engine or figure out how to employ the stuff within a video game engine, like it kind of stinks. Like we just fired the entire like story writing staff. I don't know. It continues to feel weird and disappointing. Apparently this game was one of the first games made for release of the iPad. It's part of why the game feels off. They were experimenting with ideas they thought would be fun on a touchscreen. I don't know that that's inherently problematic. I can see that a focus on that would pull from other things, but like I don't think that in and of itself is necessarily wrong. I mean, other than the fact that the way they've employed it means less normal puzzle solving. It feels like at its core, it's like trying to be something that isn't what Sammun-Mak is, and we just put Sammun-Mak over top to try and mask that. It's just a shame. There's so few Sammun-Mak properties. At least, like, most of them are good. It's not even like these are the worst ever. It's just the zero time dilemma problem. Of, like, I think that if this was, you know, Jam and Tax, Cops for Hire, and it was just like its own thing, I'd play it and like be frustrated at some of the same puzzles, but like ultimately just be like, it's fine. It's like an okay adventure game. I'm glad I tried something different, but like it's not great. But like when you put Sammun-Mak on it, I'm like, why did you do Sammun-Mak dirty? They're so good and important. Just let them be good. Why are you like this? Yeah, I mean, it definitely says something about why the puzzles have been different. I don't know. Telltale as a company in its first iteration really did like to take big swings. I mean, the episodic gaming thing was a big deal at the time. It hasn't really endured for various reasons, but you know, they tried to get all those IPs until they like bankrupted themselves once Telltale Walking Dead was so successful. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think part of the issue behind the scenes is that like while they were already like a little bit underwater, having tried to like acquire so many intellectual properties and not necessarily knowing what to do with them, like they were like also just like struggling to like make games after acquiring them. Like they just didn't have any idea what they were doing at a certain point. They're like, it sounds good on paper that we get to make this game, but no one stopped to ask whether we should. Anyway, my feelings are complicated and difficult to articulate, but I think that's as much as I'm getting out tonight. But we cannot end the stream until we resolve our final order of business, which is that somewhere within the confines of this room, there's a puzzle for you to solve. Where have I hidden Squirtles? If you can see a Squirtle because he's like the largest thing in the room, including myself, that one's not a secret per se. But, you know, these stuffed animals, they're close friends with Squirtles, and so they are known to hide out with them. And if you're able to find the location of a Squirtle in this fashion, it will be an omen of good luck for you in the coming days. So take a look. I don't expect to be streaming next weekend for the Thanksgiving holiday in America, so you may need some extra Squirtle luck to tie you over. There are some hints, overt and subtle, as to how you may find Squirtles this time. Let's see. Got Pusheen, Easter Winnie the Pooh, Squidbeard. I think a little one right in front of the visible Squirtle. An interesting guess. Let's take a look and see if we can find some Squirtles. Well, kind of hard to showcase the negative space in front of the Squirtle. Big Squirtle. And I can show you that helping to prop up our Pizzasaurus. Just a couple of Pokeballs. One particularly nice one. And underneath him it's just bread. It's just bread. Ice Bunny guess perhaps behind Pusheen. No Squirtle this time. It's a cheerful little gingerbread man, which is appropriate because the festive season has begun officially, I've been told. Let's see, I think I missed one. Got Easter Boss Squidbeard. Underneath Squidbeard was our Donut Cat. And only one person managed to locate a Squirtle this time around because there was one hiding behind this Easter poo. Can anyone guess what the theme was? My mom was close yesterday when I mentioned that there was a theme for the selections this week. No, well, I won't keep you in Dora the Explorer suspense. It's not holidays, although that's a good guess. And my mom had mentioned things holding food, which is close. It's can't understand the depth perception. Yeah, so I got like a desk here, and then I got a couch that the Squirtle's on. It's complicated. But so we got food. We got Pokemon and food. I said yesterday that outside of the Pokemon, which I've just been using excessively to decorate the room, we've got like the Valentine's treat guys. We've got a candy corn. We have a watermelon octopus. The chocolate bunny is made of chocolate. He's got a little chocolate bunny. And then, you know, we had some bread with Squirtle. That is, of course, because of the Thanksgiving holiday. And again, I don't... It would take an extremely weird circumstance for me to be streaming then, so I will likely see you all in December. At which point we will complete Sammun-Mak's The Devil's Playhouse, and luckily, because there's been no character or story development, I won't feel like I've forgotten anything important. Watch me throw shade. Thanks everybody for watching, thanks for being here, thanks for being you, and I hope to see you again soon. For those of you who celebrate, whether near or abroad, I hope you enjoy the Thanksgiving holiday. Otherwise, the early stages of the holidays, as they invariably rapidly approach, I like I said, I expect to see you all in early December. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves. Remember that you are Colossal.